Hi, hello. It's another episode of Passive Pixels. Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry, everyone. At least, as a consolation prize, let's go ahead and talk about potential cancellation. But before that, Dorian, how are you? How do you like the idea of canceling?
Oh, thank God. Finally, we're here. The
Fine.
end times.
Well, anyways, yeah, I guess let me go ahead and talk about that. I still haven't made a decision, but there is one thing I just realized I haven't mentioned at all. Sure, yeah, I came up with it. Sure, I edit the show. I'd say you own this show as much as I do, but let's just be honest, that's a fucking lie. You got like
I
a
don't want any
20 or
property
30.
over this show, please. don't give me anything.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want it. Well, you know what? Fine. Let's go ahead and just say 5%, which is like about 10% more than what anyone else has.
All right, fair.
Say that what way would you want me to sway? Because like I'm not against the idea of this getting reworked in a different way. Do you have any opinions about that, or is it just whatever happens, happens? Screw it.
No, I think whatever happens, happens. Like, this is your baby, right? Like, you started this in a literal broom closet.
No. Walk-in closet.
Walk-in closet, excuse me. So yeah, no, like I think obviously with your life events changing soon, I think you just got to do kind of what's best. And if this changes, if this evolves, or if it's never heard from again, all are very viable options.
I'm just very happy that if I cancel it, it would have been on my terms instead of me just going one day like, the highest episode we've ever had is like 50 listeners. Yeah, I think it's time to go.
I know for sure. You want to end things on your note, right? You don't want to just like randomly one day be like, I don't feel like this anymore. Which, I mean, you can do that, but like, have an episode before that. That's like, okay, I'm done now. This is it. Goodbye. And then peace.
Like, let's be honest. I don't really care about the numbers because I never look at them. Oh, yeah. Like, what was it? I want to say it was like about a week or so ago that I think I got a YouTube comment. And that's the thing. I never check YouTube notifications because I don't care. And I look and I'm like, what? Why do I have a comment from like 6 months ago? And then I look and I realize that whenever they played the Nier music at the
you got a lot of views on that video.
That but here's the thing. I uploaded it, right? And then it immediately got copyright struck and they're like, nope, can't play at all. I'm like, okay, that's fine. At least I can still watch it. So if I ever want to go back to it, there it is. And then just one day the copyright was gone and it got uploaded and there's 23,000 views on it. I'm like, what? And I look through the comments, and like if you've ever listened to music on YouTube and you look through the comments, it's everyone like, "Oh my god, this music changed my fucking life. My wife was murdered, and this song was the first thing I heard right after it, and made me smile." And it's like, who are you people? Why are you here? So through that, I started looking. I was like, what the fuck does this show do? And I just started looking. And I was like, okay, so like. Okay, I think the highest episode on podcast is like the first episode, which is like 50 or 60 listens. And then I think YouTube is like a mirror. And I'm like, okay, so am I doing double? Is that what it is? Like, I'm pretty sure, who knows, there might be people who are pumping up the numbers, which honestly, if you're doing that, why? I don't check. Like, I don't. It doesn't make me feel good. Like, oh my God, 100 people are listening. I was like, no, I'm doing this for myself. I'm actually pretty good about recording all my stuff on a notepad now. So, the reason this show even exists has been fulfilled. So, like, at this point, it's all just gravy. So, if you're bumping up the numbers, don't. What you have better things to do with your time. Don't. You shouldn't be listening to this either way. So, like, time. Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I don't want anyone to be like, kids, you got that many listeners. Shut up. I don't. The purpose of the show has been fulfilled. Anyways, in that same breath, I started looking, right? So a lot of times I only have like a terabyte SSD in my PC. So I save all the episodes on an external hard drive. And technically 2022 is season 3, at least the way I've labeled it, right? So all of the main episodes from last year are season 1 and all the special episodes are season 2. And so season 4 technically would be all the special episodes from this year. And I started looking and I was like, oh my God, I've done like maybe 3 or 4 special episodes this year. No, 3. I had the Uncharted one And then I had the fucking Matrix series one.
I forgot about
and
that.
then the Waves one. And I think the Matrix one killed me. And I think that's why there's only 3.
Yeah, that one was a hard one.
Yeah, there was a lot that went into that one.
Everyone's welcome. Anyway. I didn't show up for that one because I was sick, by the way. Because that would have been an even bigger
that would have been 6
show.
hours. That would have been 6 hours. Oh my god. So what I'm saying is that this isn't an announcement because I don't want to promise it. What I'm just saying is that I want to get a special episode out before the end of the year. And Dorian, you're going to like this. I'm thinking it's finally time to do the Batman trilogy.
Oh, fantastic. That would be great. Yeah, definitely in for that.
I feel like that would be perfect. Honestly, one of the movies that I have on here, Skyfall, I wasn't actually going to end up watching Skyfall again. I was actually going to watch The Dark Knight again, but then it got swayed in a different direction. So
yeah, fair.
Honestly, that got put in my head, and I was thinking, yeah, you know what? Sure, it feels like the right time. And the good thing is that if I don't like these movies, I gain back 3 whole ass spots on my shelf. So I'm like, oh boy, let's fucking go. That's good motivation right there. So yeah, I would like to get that out at some point before the end of the year. If I miss, oh well, I never promised it technically. But again, if the show does get canceled, all the special episodes that I wanted to do will still come out to a certain degree. Who knows timeline? I don't know, but yeah. So there you go. Holy shit. There was an actual intro with information, relevant information. My God, I'm already bloating the runtime. Anything you want to say before we do? Actually, no, anything you want to say.
No, just when you do the timestamps, put this part as like the infomercial you can skip or something. Just be clever with it. Be funny.
What if I just make it something that's completely unrelated? Like, what if I say like it's a Hoover commercial endorsement? Like, you know, I'm gonna just say that we got sponsored. And that everything I just said, like, oh yeah, I mean,
that's a great idea.
Hold on. What if I said whatever the first timestamp is? What if I just start speaking and it's like, wow, thanks Hoover for sponsoring us. Now to talk about Evil Dead. Like,
what better way to suck up the Deadites than your brand Hoover 3000?
I have too many people that I need to decapitate, but with my Swiffer Sweeper, I can knock their heads off cleaner and quicker. Okay, yeah, so there we go. Yeah, sponsored, I guess. That's what we're gonna do. And anyone who uses timestamps, I'm sorry, you're doing the show right, and I'm fucking with you now. Table of contents.
Give me Dead. Sorry, give me 1 second. You're gonna have to like cut some stuff out. My modem's like about to fall over, and I'm afraid it's gonna cut off. So give me 2 seconds.
Oh God, please. Oh yes. We're finally gonna get a single lost episode. As I'm talking about canceling the show, we get a lost episode. Fuck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, sorry, it's good now.
Ah, damn it, we didn't lose the episode?
No, we're good.
Son of a bitch. Can you imagine the first time that we actually have something important to say about the show? We lose it? Oh my God.
It was just like perilously like tipping on the edge. I'm like, oh shit. Because I guess a box fell on it. So it's good now though. It's fine.
Table of contents. Evil Dead. Titanic. Now, Dorian, this is one that I've kept secret. And
Ooh.
Steve Jobs. Saving Private Ryan. Silent Hill. Well, I mean, PS1. I should probably mention that because there's a fucking movie too. The Social Network, Skyfall, Plague Tale Requiem, Evil Dead 2, Hot D, House of the Dragon Season 1, Mulholland Drive, and Singin' in the Rain. So, Dorian, what is your list?
Enjoy your constituted nap here. All right.
Oh, yep.
Cyberpunk 2077, Silent Hill, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. The Lodge.
Oh, okay, hold on. The Silent Hill, The Rings. Good job.
The Lodge, The Crow, Halloween Ends, The House of the Devil, Escape Room, They Look Like People, Reanimator, Puppet Master, Inland Empire, Mulholland Drive, The Slumber Party Massacre, The Wailing, The Invitation, Society, Ms. 45, Happy Death Day to You, Vampyr, Onibaba, and Pulse.
You see, I know you said that I'm going to enjoy my nap, and let's be honest, the fact that most of those are horror movies means that I'm going to be keep sleeping for like, you know what? I should probably start labeling the middle of every episode the Dorian hour, since that's what it ends up being. Of you like, all right, let's get these out of the way, since everyone doesn't have doesn't have anything to say about these.
Yeah, I got a lot of horror schlock that I can just burn through because I don't care about it, honestly.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, we already wasted enough time, so like if that goes even shorter, perfect. Okay, all right. Timestamp is gonna be here. All right. Thanks again, Hoover, for sponsoring us. We have like less than 100 listeners. I don't know why you sponsored us. Anyways, Evil Dead. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Actually, I'm going to talk about Evil Dead 2 here as well. That was fun. Evil Dead 1. Like, how did you make this movie? How do you make this movie and you are just, there is such a strong voice. How did you make this at like the age of 21 or 22? And it just, yes, I understand. Actually, okay, specifically because like I'm ridiculous. I bought the DVD version because I don't want the 4K fixed version. Like, I want it to look like it did initially. I want all the little continuity errors. I want, like, just honestly, this may be a cope, but I like the way it looks on DVD because it kind of helps that feeling of like bootstrap nature of this movie, where it just feels like there was obviously no studio behind it. There was no money behind it. There was just a couple of investors, and something about watching it in like 480i that's like, oh, this kind of feels like it fits better. Like, it feels like a movie that if you went to not even a Blockbuster, like a family owned video store that like has like no brand name or anything, and you go and you just see a tape there that says Evil Dead. You're like, what is this? So yeah, I don't know, maybe a cope, but yeah, Evil Dead is fun. And then Evil Dead 2. What the fuck? That was awesome. That's ridiculous. Oh my god. Like, I don't... Okay, so I read like just a couple of the reviews on Letterboxd, and is the impression supposed to be that Evil Dead 2 isn't really a sequel? It's like a redo of the original Evil Dead, which, if that is what you're supposed to look at it as, it kind of annoys me more that they went back to clean up Evil Dead, because then it's like, well, Evil Dead 2 is supposed to be a play on Evil Dead 1, and then now you're going to go back and clean up Evil Dead 1? Like, no. Your cleanup was Evil Dead 2. You don't get to do this to the original one now. But there was something that me and my wife were talking about, and she's like, so we were both trying to figure out, like, what exactly is going on here? Like, I don't really get how this works out between the relationship between these two movies. And what doesn't really help either is that on the back of Evil Dead 2, it's like, Evil Dead 2, the description on the back describes basically where Ash was left off in Evil Dead 1. So reading that, I was like, oh, I guess it continues just automatically off from the first one. And then I'm watching like, that doesn't seem right. I don't know what's going on here. So that threw me off. But yeah, Evil Dead 2. God, this is so unique. Like, it's so strange to see how strong of a voice Sam Raimi has in the first one, and then that gets amped up even harder in the second one, and then the second one isn't even a traditional sequel. It's supposed to be a redo of the first one. And then, what I was saying about how my wife and I were trying to figure this out. It was funny watching this movie and trying to figure it out, because then we're like, did Ash just come back to the same cabin after all the events of the first one with a completely different girl? He's an idiot. And we were just like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to take that interpretation. That's actually pretty funny. And then we go on Letterboxd, and one of the reviews is like, I know that the movie's supposed to be a redo of the first one, but I'd like to prefer to think that Ash is stupid and brought another girl to the same place. And I was like, like someone else made that connection. So yeah, I'm super positive about these movies. Both of them made it onto the shelf. Yeah, I can't wait to watch Army of Darkness. So I toss it to you because I know you enjoy these movies.
Yeah, Evil Dead doesn't suck. You know what does suck, though? That's the Complete Performance Advanced Bagged Upright Vacuum from Hoover. Great vacuum. for all your needs.
Thank you again for sponsoring us.
Thanks, Hoover. Yeah, no, Evil Dead is great though, man. Like I fucking love these movies. And it's interesting. The second one is like, I think it is supposed to just be like a fucking quasi reboot remake of the first one, but you totally can look at it from a different angle. And I think that's fine the way you're looking at it too. And I think that in fact is probably even a better way to look at it because
funnier, dude. They even like the fact that they even use the same necklace is like,
yeah.
Oh, so does Ash just do this to all of his girlfriends? He gives them that necklace and then goes to a cabin. It's like, well, I'm just testing them out. I got to make sure if they can, withstand the pressure of fighting the Deadites.
And if you watch, when you do watch Army of Darkness, and I mean, you probably already know this to some extent, but when you watch Army of Darkness, you're going to realize one thing about Ash Williams, and that's that he's pretty fucking stupid. He's not exactly the smartest protagonist in the drawer. And that becomes even more clear in Army of Darkness. Don't worry about that.
Oh, wait. Speaking of Ash, I have not praised this man enough.
Oh, he's great.
Oh my God.
Bruce Campbell is perfect.
I love Bruce Campbell. I want to start a religion around Bruce Campbell now. This man is incredible. From his first few lines of "How about some champagne, baby?" Like, it's as soon as he said those lines, I was like, oh, we're in for something different. Like, oh my God, I love this man. Evil Dead 2 was like right on the edge of like, do I want to keep it? I don't know. And then I started thinking I can just throw Evil Dead in there, and then if Army of Darkness lands for me, this is gonna stay on the shelf. And I'm like, you know what? Absolutely. Well, and so much of it is just Ash.
Two thoughts. First of all, to that point, if Army of Darkness hits for you too and you decide to keep them all, the Army of Darkness Steelbook, if you get the Steelbook, actually has 4 disc slots, so you could get really creative and just fucking throw them all in there if you like it. Beyond that though, what was I gonna say? Bruce Campbell and his performance as Ash is fantastic. And if you're enjoying him in Evil Dead 2, you're gonna have a ball with Army of Darkness because he's just a fucking one-lining machine in that movie. Like, he's so great.
Everything this man says is gold, and I am jealous of all of his talents. This man is incredible, and I know I'm never going to reach any of the heights that this man has in literally just a sentence or two. Not to even bring up the incredible physical comedy this man has when he's trying to fight his hand, and the entire, like, basically it's like Beauty and the Beast from hell, and all of the furniture is just laughing with him, and then we get that just perfect shot of him laughing at the camera. You have the moment where they spin. They just launch him like a mile, and he's spinning, and it looks like the Austin Powers time travel thing. It's like, this is incredible. Like I don't understand. How can you make such a... Oh, cinema. It's cinema. This pisses me off so much because it's like, this is too good. Why? How did you accomplish this? How? God, all I have is just a shitty podcast. How do you make a movie like this at this age? Oh my God, I'm so jealous. This is like the only movie I've looked at just been like, I just had jealousy in me because it's that good.
Yeah, I know. It's how he manages to do this movie, and especially like when you compare Evil Dead 1 to Evil Dead 2, and just how different, like, I mean, they're similar, but they're very different tones. Like, they take such different tones to each other, and it shows how Sam Raimi can kind of dip his hat into everything. And then again, I think with Army of Darkness, you get a completely different tone in that movie too. So it's one of the most unique trilogies of all time, and definitely one of my favorites. It's a really interesting one.
Shit. Okay, so Best Buy recently had a restock, right, on the Dune Steelbook, the Inglourious Basterds Steelbook, and No Time to Die. Anyways, I bought a second Dune because I wanted a sealed copy, right? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to bury it in the backyard for like 15 years, and I'm going to sell it for $3 billion, okay? I go on Best Buy. You tell me about Army of Darkness. They have literally one in stock left. But then it's $35. And it's like, ooh.
It's one of those special like collector's editions one, like from Shout Factory or whatever. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah. No, I know. I can already tell from the art style. Like, Shout Factory has kind of like a factory style, so like I can kind of tell it's one of theirs. It's like, ooh, man, I don't know how much I'd want to spend on it if it's $35. I might check how many points I have. But also, like, damn, man, Army of Darkness, that feels like if I were to try to buy anything blind, that feels like as safe as a blind buy as I can get. But also, life is creeping up, and it's like, should I be buying movies right now? Should I be investing in something that's going to sit me down for a little bit when I have so many other movies and games breathing down my neck right now? I don't know, maybe. But, like, you know, you can't see my screen and how I'm logging into Best Buy and checking how many points I have. I have 50 fucking points. Actually, you know what? You might catch me on my bullshit shortly. So, yeah, Evil Dead 1 and 2 are... I might be buying a $35 steelbook for the next movie because I can probably cash out $10 points and bring the price down a little bit. Out of 10.
Evil Dead is like a 4 out of 5, and then Evil Dead 2 is like a 3.5 out of 5. Although I need to rewatch Evil Dead 2. It's been a while. Michael Hire.
Ooh, God, I don't look. That's the thing. I don't like scores. I don't like that it's that low. I don't like it.
I'll have to rewatch it. It's been a while. I'm waiting for a 4K, but that one never seems to be, I don't know, on sale in Canada or around in Canada. So I need to get it though eventually. So.
God, at what point do you end up in Freedom Land because we just have so many deals? Sure, right. Healthcare, like, sure, that's where you pay out, but, like, just don't die. You know, five head, like, just don't die.
Yeah, easy to say, right?
You stupid. $10 Evil Dead 2? Come on, man. Don't die. You stupid. Only dead people die.
Yeah, I would think so.
Only stupid people. Only stupid people die. I'm going to be dying shortly.
This episode's off to a great start.
Look, during my bike ride, I was looking forward to this. That's how you know that it might be a good episode.
All right, how many things do you got left now?
No. Here's the thing: we have a whole bunch of stuff, but I was gonna force your hand and go right into Mulholland Drive. Let's get the bangers out of the way.
Oh, you want to do that right now? All right, let's do it.
Yeah, we have time. That's the thing. We have the time. I don't want to get to the end of the episode.
All right, I'm going to bundle Inland Empire into this too. But should I talk about that first and then do Mulholland Drive? Or you want to do Mulholland Drive first?
Let's do Mulholland Drive first because I'm gonna get my brief statement about this movie out because let's be honest, I am stupid. I am moronic. I am a brainlet. I don't know what was going on here. Like, okay, let's just preface everything I'm about to say. I liked it. I liked it in the same way that a small child goes through a car wash without any concept of what a car wash is. They just see lights and sounds and foam, and it's a little dark, and then you get to the other end, you're like, I like it. I have no idea what that was, but I like it. That is exactly how I feel about Mulholland Drive. So, like, it's like, I like it. Other people love it. Ooh, guys, you guys are blowing me out here on how positive you are on it. I have no idea what's going on, so this is all just information gathering for me. I specifically finished this one, and this, like, I read the Letterboxd reviews because that's something I like doing. I like seeing the one-liners people have, and pretty much one review was pitch perfect. It said something along the lines of, this is one of my favorite movies ever, I said, as I queue up the 7th YouTube video explaining Mulholland Drive and still not getting it. And I saw that, I'm like, you know, maybe not the favorite movie part, but everything else? Yeah, that sounds on point. I haven't seen shit about this movie. Like, no YouTube videos, no, anytime I see someone put up like an entire essay as a review on Letterboxd, I'm like, no, I'm here for the one-liners. And so, like, I have no assumptions about this movie beyond even that spoilerish. So, like, I'd rather just keep it vague right now about I enjoyed it, probably on a technical level, an acting level, plot level. I have no fucking idea. I'm not even gonna say it's bad. Like, I don't get it. It's bad. Like, I don't know. No, like, I just, there's something here. I'd probably have to watch it a couple more times. But I'm stupid and am scared of doing the homework. So yeah, there's that. So anything you want to say before you start breaking this shit down as spoilerific as possible?
I love this movie. Obviously, I found it. When did you watch it? Was this yesterday? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I when I found out you watched, I was like, well, fuck, I gotta rewatch it now. So very easy rewatch for me to do. Gorgeous 4K from Criterion. So shout out to you boys for making another banger.
Very clean, yes.
Very, very clean cut. And yeah, no, I just this movie I adore. I moved it 2 spots up in my all-time ranking after our rewatch. So I love this movie, man. It's great. It's just outside of my top 10. So yeah.
Ooh, which reminds me, one of my movies on my list did that too, and they jumped like 20 places.
Ooh, very, very cool. Very interesting. I always love to hear that. I'll talk about Inland Empire too, but that made a very big debut as well on mine. But yeah, so yeah, no, I think this movie is a fucking masterpiece. There's so much to it. Like Ed said, though, it's really the type of movie you have to watch multiple times. Like I've seen it 3 times, and with the spoiler talk to come, I'm still going to be woefully unprepared to discuss everything because it's just there's so much here, and there's so much that you need to like learn and kind of dig through and comb through. And of course, there's no real answers. Like everything is theory crap because if you ask David Lynch, he'll tell you he didn't know what he was doing and to fuck off. So there is
okay, to be fair, that's his answer for every movie. So
it's not like, answer for every movie.
He's unique to this one.
No, that's his answer for every movie. So he will not give you anything to go off of. So you're just basically guessing. But there are some guesses, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, so speaking of also me wanting to go as cleanly into this, I haven't even read the Criterion booklet yet. Like literally, I watched the movie, I read a couple of funny one-liners, and then that was it. Like there's nothing else. So like I feel like this is the stupidest I will ever sound talking about a movie. Which at least the good thing is, I mean, it's Mulholland Drive. Like I don't know if anyone ever sounds smart talking about this one, or at least that's my guess. So yeah, count it down. What? Actually, no. I'll go ahead and count it down first because I'll just go ahead and say what is literally the only thread I have of this. So
all right.
3, 2, 1. Is this a Hollywood chew up women and spit out movie?
Yeah, basically at its core.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. And this is going to be the easiest way I have to do it. I know you have plans to watch this, but I forget. Have you seen Wizard of Oz before?
Yes, I have. I'm watching it pretty soon. In a little bit.
All right. I honestly, this is a weird comparison, but this movie is like Wizard of Oz's evil twin to me in a lot of ways. And the reason, and the reason I say that is basically, I'm going to spoil Wizard of Oz too a little bit here. So, I mean, you're getting a combo spoiler. It's very minor.
My life is over.
It's very minor.
There's a man behind the curtain. No.
Not that kind of spoiler. But basically in Wizard of Oz, you're basically seeing Dorothy take real, she basically goes into this dream world and she takes these real people from her life, puts them in this little dream world, and where she has to fight, basically overcome these obstacles, meets these people, defeat the evil witch, go home, be happy, blah, 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 blah. Mulholland Drive is just kind of an inverse evil twin of that. You basically see this actress whose life is ruined at this point. She has nothing to live for. She's basically hired a hitman to kill her ex-girlfriend. And because she wants her dead, she can't live with the thought that she's with somebody else at this point anymore. And then she dreams, and basically we just see she's filling in pieces, she's filling in places, she's filling in all of these events that don't actually happen, but they're things that are basically represent things in her life. And we can kind of thread together a bit of a narrative based off of that. At least this is what my interpretation of the movie is. And this is kind of the widely agreed upon interpretation, I guess I should say. But I mean, there's so many different ways to look at this movie and kind of dig into it and go. But there's lots of different, lots of different clues towards that. I mean, kind of from my understanding, basically, we don't really see anything real until near the end of the movie. When our lovely cowboy friend basically tells her to wake up. It's time to get up. And from that point on, she does get up, and we're kind of in, by the way, her name is Diane in reality. We're seeing Diane's real life and kind of what she's doing. You even get that one scene in Winky's Diner where, the waitress walks by. Her name is Betty. And that's why, she took Betty for the dream. In the dream, her name is Betty. So again, she's like placing all of these different things from what she was dreaming in her real life. And
my head hurts.
Yeah, and there's lots of that in this movie, and there's some of it that doesn't make sense, right? Like we look at, let's shout out one of my favorite jump scares of all time, and one of the fucking creepiest motherfucking scenes. Yeah, the hobo at the very start of the movie. There's film analysis on this scene, man, and it deserves it, man. It's a masterclass in tension, and it's a phenomenal scene. But like, we don't really know who that hobo is or what their thing is, if they're just a manifestation of a nightmare. Obviously they have that box, and what is the box about? Well, the key to the box is basically the key that the hitman gave her. That's going to be the sign that she's going to die eventually. And when she sees the key,
my head actually hurts. Dude, whatever energy I had going into this episode is sapped. Keep going.
But when she sees the key, like when she finally sees the key, then that means the job is done. And that's kind of when she starts to go crazy. When she sees the key, she has second thoughts. She regrets it. That's why she's dreaming of a happier life, because she still wants to be with her. She has all those regrets. Who the fuck are those creepy ass old people? Are they people that molested her? Are they her parents? Or are they just some random fuckers? Who the hell knows on that one? Because my
assumption of them was that they were supposed to be manifestation of Hollywood taking women in, and I don't know, man, but that's a problem. Like, now that I'm hearing all this shit, it's like
who knows? And then we haven't even gotten to like kind of the penultimate scene in the movie, the Silencio scene in the theater, where you get that beautiful song, which is just amazingly done. And I get chills every time I watch that scene. But what the fuck is going on there? I mean, the only thing I could say is it's all so metaphorical, and I almost feel like it's David Lynch pulling back the curtain a bit and telling us that the dream's about to end. But I mean, trying to find an actual literal explanation for that. Good God, good luck.
I had energy going into an episode once, and that was just gone. Fucking David Lynch. That's the thing. I don't even know if I want to go back and watch it and like start picking things out, because I kind of like it just as like a it's weird, because it feels like this movie should have filtered me, because I don't understand a goddamn thing. But I feel like the filtering is what I enjoyed. I don't know how else to explain it, because I don't understand this movie. I don't know if I want, even with you telling me, yes, I want to hear interpretations, but I don't know if I want to go back and make my own interpretation, or if I just end up adopting what everyone else does. But still, it's something where it's like, I think I'm just kind of happy having it where I have it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's fine, because even if you take all that out,
it's hard to talk about this movie.
Yeah, no, like even if you take out a coherent plot and understanding the movie, you're still left with a lot of good stuff. You're left with some gorgeous cinematography in this movie. You're left with a really great soundtrack that's just chilling to me and really well done. And just some great performances. I mean, like, this movie was nominated, Naomi Watts is nominated for a fucking Oscar. Like, this is the type of movie that should filter the fuck out of an Academy. So it goes to show you how
that makes no sense, dude. The Academy was wild that year. What?
Yeah, like the fact that this got so many nominations, and it's too bad. I don't actually know who won, but it is really too bad Naomi Watts didn't win the Oscar, because this movie is such a fuck you to Hollywood. Because that's what it is. You're right. What you said at the start, it's about being spit up in the Hollywood machine, or chewed up in the Hollywood machine, and getting spit out. And that's exactly what happens to Naomi Watts here. You know, when she first arrives, she has this idealized version of Hollywood, and she's all happy and bubbly. But when we see her now, she's done. She's fucked. Like, she's got nothing left. She's basically hired a fucking assassin to kill her ex-girlfriend, and she doesn't even want to go on living anymore. And it's tough.
Yeah,
it's a lot though, this movie. But I love it. It's like, I love movies that are basically just one giant puzzle box, and that I just feel like I need to put together. And even if you're working with like pieces that don't fit with this movie, there's a lot of those. I still really like it.
So there's one thing I just want to say, specifically, you know, for the darker people in our audience, like they'll understand what I mean when I say that this honestly, like, that the entire singing segment, like, I looked over to my wife and I'm like, dude, throw a couple of trumpets on there, maybe a trombone, maybe a little bit of, I have no idea if the microphone's going to pick it up, but I'm drumming like a little God, I can't remember this.
It's picking it up. You're good.
Bongos. Okay, perfect. All right, like, just throw a little bit of bongos there. You got a fucking fire ass salsa song there. Like just this woman belting it out. I sent you a link right now. Like no, wait, no, hold on. I didn't timestamp it. Like just listen to that and then just be like, huh, yeah, you can literally just like if you took that song and then you just threw a couple of instrumentations on that, this shit fucking slaps. Like, oh my god. So like while
she's got a voice.
Oh yeah, dude. So the song that I put is La India Sedúceme, right? And so basically, I'm hearing this shit and like Naomi Watts and other lady whose name like, I could probably say it. I just don't want to look it up immediately. They're having an existential moment where they're really feeling this music, and I'm just over here sitting like, bro, man, I want that salsa album like yesterday. Did you drop any tracks or something? Like, do you do this professionally? I want to hear more from you. And then the fact that I went to a quinceañera not too long ago, I'm in the mood for some Spanish music. I'm like, I understand this is like supposed to be really sad, but bro, this is hitting right now.
It's fair. I mean, I think it's that moment. I don't know what it is about that moment in the movie, but every time I watch it, I just get chills. Like I love that moment in the movie. That's such a powerful scene to me. And
because it's a cappella. Like that woman has a strong voice.
You know that scene of The Leftovers? I fucking love that line where he's like, "What's happening?" He's like, "I don't know." That's me during that scene. I'm just like, just tears running down my eye. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but this is beautiful.
I don't know what it is. I just know I feel it.
Yeah, and it's great, man. It's so well done.
Yeah, so I'm sad to announce not staying. I'm sorry. I apologize, everyone. Sure. I don't know if I watch it again before I dump it out. Maybe I save it, but also I'm kind of terrified of this movie, man. I don't know if any other movie has made me feel stupid. Like it's been a while. Like this honestly reminds me of like the first time I tried Ocarina of Time on GameCube, where I was like, I'm stupid. I don't understand that this is a 3D space where fire actually makes sense and gravity makes sense. Like, I didn't know that the sticks caught fire. I didn't know that you had to jump down and break the spider web underneath Deku Tree. I didn't know about that. So, I don't know. Maybe most of the time I feel like I'm intimidated in different ways. This is one where it's like, I'm stupid, man. I'm not as smart as I think I am. This one hurt my ego. So, yeah, Mulholland Drive. The score I'm going to go ahead and give it is, well, you made me feel something different that no other movie has made me feel out of 10.
Yeah, that's solid. It's a 5 out of 5. Cinema at its finest for me. Now, Ed, I make a joke quite often here. When we talked about Blue Velvet, right? Which you like Blue Velvet. I said Blue Velvet's
I like this one too.
Yeah, no, I know. No. So yeah, Blue Velvet's like you're smoking some weed, right? You're getting that first hit, right? You're just getting a buzz, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Mulholland Drive is like you're taking the needle, you're shoving it into your arm, and you're shooting heroin. Okay.
Oh yeah, you got some.
Yeah, you got
it's literally at the same party too.
For sure, yeah. You went into the back room. There's a guy here. He's got some heroin. He's creepy, but whatever. You want to get fucked up, so you put it in. You're injecting it. Okay. Inland.
No, not even. No. You don't understand. This is smoking weed. A dude's like, "Hey, man, you want a party?" And you're like, "I'm already at a party. Sure, let's go." And then you go, and then that's when they just sit you down and they're like, "Hey, don't worry." And then the chair closes on you, like on your wrists. And then the guy shows up. He's like, "Bro, don't worry, man. It's just liquefied weed or something like that." And you're like, "Oh, okay, this is going to be a little bit weird." And then 2.5 hours pass and you're out in the lawn just speaking in tongues.
Okay, fair enough. Inland Empire is if you went straight down to Mexico, injected black tar heroin into your body and ended up dead in a ditch. That's Inland Empire.
Good transition.
Let's talk about Inland Empire now, because this is the last movie made by David Lynch. Maybe the last movie he'll ever make, unfortunately. He's getting up there in age. I hope he's got one more in him, but we don't know for sure. So his swan song really is going to be this and Twin Peaks: The Return, if nothing else, because he did do that after. But we'll see if he's got one.
That is a good send-off, honestly.
And that is a great send-off.
Ending where he began.
Yeah, like the run he went on, we got Lost Highway into Mulholland Drive, into Inland Empire, into Twin Peaks: The Return. Inland Empire is basically it ticks everything I want in a movie. First of all, you get your big puzzle box where it's like you got to put your pieces together, but you're working with the wrong pieces. I love that. It feels like a nightmare. This entire movie is horrifying.
So we keep coming back to nightmares with you.
It is, but this is what this movie is. It's a bad fucking dream that you can't wake up from, and it's clawing underneath your skin, and I fucking love it. Laura Dern, Jeremy Irons, Justin Theroux, Harry Dean Stanton's here. Great cast filled with fucking people that are just banging it out of the park in their roles. And this movie is just so fucking incredible on so many different levels, in my opinion. This is in my top 10 of all time now, and I only watched it once. Which, by the way, I'll tell the story here. I've been wanting to watch this fucking movie forever. I haven't been able to. I have a thing. I don't like to pirate movies. I really don't want to pirate movies. Unfortunately, though, this movie's unrentable right now, and it's even pirating it. There's not a lot of good quality copies out there, but yeah, it's unrentable. They've been doing like a re-release of it in theaters because they cleaned it up and made it 4K, but it didn't come near me, unfortunately, and there's rumors that it's going to get a Criterion release next year, which I will buy when that comes. But anyways, I randomly in the mail got a Blockbuster case with a burned DVD in there saying for your consideration. So I was like, oh boy, did somebody send me a snuff film? Really made it now. Which Ray, Nick, you don't listen to these, although you might for this segment because I know you're a big fucking Lynch fan. So maybe you'll fast forward to this and listen. But yeah, he sent it to me. One of the fine people in the Passive Pixels Discord. He's a big Lynch guy.
I do have to mention the idea of the for your consideration. The reason I mentioned that is that when I watched Tick Tick Boom, you know, I liked it. I loved it. I say loved it, but like I hesitate saying that because honestly, I see it on the shelf and I'm like, hey, can I knock you out? Am I gonna watch this movie a third time in like a year just to make sure if I want to even shelf or not? But that's a completely different story. Anyways, while I was looking to see if there were any physical copies, the only physical copy of Tick Tick Boom that exists are DVD copies that are for your consideration from the previous Oscars. So I told him, hey, you're going to send that movie over to Dorian. Go ahead and write on the case for your consideration, because that is probably literally the only way that physical copies get made for movies that don't have physical copies.
That's great. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, completely pointless, but it's funny to me.
No, and yeah, Ed's the harbinger of my address. If people want it just to send me stupid shit, they ask him. So yeah, well, this was
remember, if anyone wants to assassinate him, just ask me. Like, yeah, I will check off and see if you're the right person.
Yes, just get the job done. Yeah, no. So he sent me this, and yeah, this was so I immediately fast tracked to watch this because I've been wanting to watch it forever, and I'm doing my month of spoops anyways. I mean, Lynch has the scariest non-horror movies I've ever seen. Like, they're just, I don't know. To me, they're just creepy and disturbing, and they scare the shit out of me. So this fit perfectly for me. And this is easily his scariest movie yet. Like I said, it's just brilliant. If you want like a traditional plot, like, don't watch this movie. There's nothing here for you. But if you want something like similar to Mulholland Drive, but somehow taken to another fucking level, that's this movie in a nutshell. Laura Dern is just acting her fucking ass off here, and she's incredible. So much of this movie is just these awkward cell phone shots of close-ups of her face, just in the most uncomfortable positions. And I can't imagine how hard a movie like this was for someone like her, and everyone involved here too, to do something like this, because apparently this movie had a revolving script. It changed each day. It just sounded like it was a nightmare production, to be honest with you, which matches the movie quite well. So I'm pretty sure it was done on purpose. Again, Lynch will never say, he'll never explain, and I'm going to leave spoilers out of it because I don't know if you have any plans to ever watch this one day, Ed, but in case you do.
Okay, it's going to take me a little time before I come back to Lynch. Yeah, you know how badly my ego is. Like not only do I have to accept that I am stupid and didn't get it, now I have to accept the fact that if I do end up being stupid again, there is now recorded history of me being stupid. I can't even hide it. It's not like my middle school photos on MySpace that I deleted and then, like, you know, then Tom was stupid and accidentally wiped a server too. So like, those are gone now completely. I don't have to worry about that. This is recorded history that I'm dumb.
Yeah, I mean, Lynch makes us all feel dumb, man. Don't worry, it's not just you. We're all just trying to piece together the weird shit he puts out, and some are easier than others. But yeah, with that trilogy of Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, and Inland Empire, he really took it to another level there and just made shit that's really, really deep, and you got to try to dig through to figure out. But yeah, no, this movie, like, it's just, to me, it's a masterpiece. And again, I'm not going to spoil it, but leave it to fucking Lynch. I already love this movie. I think it was amazing, and I'm watching it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of think I know what's going on here. Like, you know, I can kind of guess this, although this is fucked up. I don't know what this is, and then leave him just to fucking hit the end credits. And I won't say what happens, but what happens in these end credits, it's literally the credits are rolling, but there's something happening during the end credits that not only completely changes the context for this fucking movie, but literally changes the context for every fucking Lynch movie ever. Are you kidding me? At the very fucking end of this movie? So I don't know, man. I think this movie's incredible. There's so much to it. It's so deep, and it's a fucking must watch. I love it. I've blabbed enough about it. It's great, though. Good luck finding it, but if you can't find it, absolutely must watch if you're a Lynch fan.
You don't understand how terrifying to my soul that sounds like. Like, yeah, you watch this movie, well, make sure you watch his entire filmography, because when you get to the end of this one, it's going to change everything. It's like, oh, I've already talked about feeling stupid. That feeling's gonna come back again if I watch this one. So yeah, David Lynch, congrats, you terrify me. Congrats, good job. That's first man to do it.
What did I say? It's the scariest non-horror stuff ever. I'm not wrong. It's scary for you in a different way.
There are two men I fear in this world. One, my dad. Two, David Lynch. Congrats, everyone. Good job. New edition. New edition, everybody.
But yeah, I'll score it now. 5 out of 5. Obviously, this has cracked my top 10. I'm going to adjust things a little bit. So right now I have it at 7th. My plan is I really want to, I think at the early start of next year, I'm probably just going to go through and rewatch my top 10 movies at some point. And we'll make sure everything's in the right spot. Maybe I'll do the top 15 even, and just make sure everything's in the right spot. But it was a no-brainer for me. I slept on it, and when I woke up, I was like, yeah, no, this movie's incredible. I like it even more than Mulholland Drive. And I still feel that after rewatching Mulholland Drive, as much as I love that movie. So 5 out of 5, cinema at its finest.
My score is I'm going to cry out of 10.
All right.
Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 left. So the Dorian hour. Everybody, welcome to the Dorian hour. What are we going to land on this time? Is it going to be mid-horror movie, or is it going to be mid-horror movie? Put in your vote now.
All right, let's start with The Lodge. This is directed by Veronica Franz and Severin Fiala, the directors of Goodnight Mommy. Why I decided to watch this...
If you chose mid-horror movie, go ahead and text me. You won a prize.
Thanks, Hoover. It's a vacuum, by the way. Why did I...
You see, this is what I'm telling you. There's an actual energy going into this. This is working out very well.
Why did I fucking decide to watch this after not liking Goodnight Mommy? I don't know. I actually did. This was slightly better than Goodnight Mommy, but I still didn't like this movie. I really like Riley Keough. I think she's great. I think she's a good actress. I don't know why she keeps like choosing shit fucking projects to be in though. And there was like a couple, like the start of this movie is actually like really good. Like I was like, oh shit, like this is gonna be a lot better. But then, like, I don't know, man. There's something about their style that just grates me the wrong way. It's got just really dumb characters again doing dumb things and a twist ending that just didn't work for me. I don't know, man. These guys, I will not watch another movie by them. I'm good. So yeah, but 5 out of 10. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm so glad I wasn't paying attention to this at all. I don't even want to think about whatever this is. Like most of what you're gonna say is gonna be like, all right, yeah, let's get to it, huh? So
right. Yeah, you got to score.
No out of 10.
What's the score?
No out of 10.
Yeah, get ready to say that a lot.
That's good. I'm going to use that so many times.
All right, Halloween Ends. I'm sorry, Mac, but this is going here too. This is directed by David Gordon Green, the third of the Halloween trilogy, and in my opinion, by far the worst one. I have no idea. The
clown is down right now.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck they were thinking about this movie. I've soured on it even more as I've sat on it. So, okay. Halloween Kills, it's like, yeah, this is really fucking dumb, but at least there's stuff in there I can laugh at. Like, you've seen that one kill with the car, right? Like, that's fucking funny.
Incredible.
Like, there's some stuff in there that's enjoyable. It's schlocky. People are just dying. It's ridiculous, and there's stupid people in there, but, you know, they're having fun, right? This movie, it's like they listen to everyone criticizing Halloween Kills, and like, okay, let's go the complete opposite direction, make the first hour of this movie a character study, have no kills whatsoever, and then just get completely dumb at the end. This is just so bizarre. Nothing in this movie feels like a Halloween movie to me. It's really, I just don't understand why they would go this direction. And it doesn't even like, this is the ender of a trilogy, but you could watch the first 2 movies of this trilogy, or you could not watch them and be fine watching this one because it barely references those fucking movies. It's bizarre. And I don't know why they decided to go this direction. But I fucking hate it. 2 out of 5.
So I don't understand what you're talking about. Halloween Ends. Like, there's only one movie. I don't understand why you're reviewing literally just the end of the first, like the movie. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So I guess I'm just gonna have to say, Halloween is good. And there's only one movie. So I don't know what you're talking about out of 10.
Facts. We're not gonna. But you know what? Just keep living in that. Oh, wonderful world.
I'm so sorry, Buffo the Clown. I'm so sorry.
Buffo. I'm big mad right now. That the rebuttal's gonna be hot. I'm in a hot fucking hour-long episode.
Everybody, whenever I cancel Passive Pixels, go listen to Burnt Tendies and realize that I actually edit this show, and it sounds good because of that.
Okay, Escape Room. This is directed.
Hold on, I'm trying to see this. I'm trying to search up if Buffo the Clown it returns anything on Google. Oh. It does not.
Oh, it's too bad.
God, what a shame.
Just okay, imagine this really buff ass Pepe Clown. Yeah,
oh.
That's GMAC. Show Mac.
Yeah, there we go. If you Google Pepe Clown buff, the second image is an actual live action photo of Mac, the host of the Burnt Tendies.
and that is, he is buffing up while we were just talking about Halloween. That much we can promise you.
He is going to kick our ass, and he's going to look exactly like that.
You wouldn't like it when I'm honking. All right.
And every time we get punched, it's honk, honk. Because his fists are not made of the horn.
Oh, God.
I'm running off of 80 calories again. I'm so hungry. I want to die.
Evergreen. All right. Somehow I'm going to switch gears here and talk about Escape Room. This was Escape This Room. This was directed by Adam Robitel in 2019. Hey, you know who's in this? Taylor Russell from Waves. She's a good little actress, right?
Yo, Taylor Russell. I totally knew that name.
Yes.
Yeah, no way that I'm looking it up.
From Waves, the daughter from Waves. Come on, my friend.
Oh, I don't know her name.
All right. Well, she's also going to be in Bones and All. So good young.
The one that's still alive by the end.
Yeah, right. Wave spoilers. So Taylor Russell is...
It's okay, that was vague enough. I'm sorry if anyone thinks that was actual spoilers. Since it's vague, oh, whoops, now you know one's gonna live. Oh, no!
Escape Room is... I mean, look, here's what I actually didn't mind this movie. I liked it. There was some good stuff to it, and, it was fine for a watch. I wouldn't watch it again. I think this movie's really hated because it was kind of at the height of like what I feel is like PG horror, where there's like no violence, there's no gore, they really don't show anything, so anyone can watch it. I mean, I understand not liking it, but at the same time, I mean, the movie was kind of fun, so I didn't mind it. The ending is pretty fucking bad. Like it's sequel bait, and I probably will watch the sequel because why not at some point. But
look, we've established that you haven't learned your lesson once; you'll only learn it twice.
Yeah, well, and I did like this more than those other fucking movies, so like I'm down to watch a sequel. But yeah, it's just fun time. Nothing too spectacular about it. So 3 out of 5. That's my rating on it.
Look, I'm just happy that I have something to banter about out of 10.
Perfect. All right. What is next? Let's do Reanimator next. Which a lot of people will probably be people will be offended by this one. Actually, probably by a couple here. This is a cult classic directed by Stuart Gordon in 1985, starring Jeffrey Combs and Bruce Abbott.
God, what an unfortunate last name.
Right? It's actually probably Combs. I just like Combs. Florence Pugh. Look, this movie, it's not particularly...
Buffo just smashed his phone. He has to buy a Pixel 7 now.
This movie, it's so schlocky and it's so it's so much body effects and stuff like that, and that's kind of fun, but I don't know, man. I just wasn't super entertained by this. There was obviously nothing going on in the plot, and the plot was just a vehicle for like experiments and like weird body effects and stuff like that. I mean, I understand what they were going for, but it just, I don't know, maybe I just don't like that type of movie. That could be it, but definitely wasn't for me. So, another mid movie for me, 5 out of 10. That's all I have to say.
Water is good out of 10.
All right, good score. All right, next we're going to talk about Puppet Master. This was fucking horrible, man. Holy shit, this was bad. This was directed by David Schmoller. This is like a fucking another one of those cult classic series. There's like 5 of these movies. This movie fucking sucked, though. I hated this fucking movie. It was just boring. It never crossed into so bad. I mean, okay, maybe there was like one scene at the start that like made me chuckle a bit, but the rest of the movie, I'm like, please cross into so bad it's funny territory, please. And it never does. It's just fucking boring. Oh. None of the kills are particularly creative. It's horrible effects, obviously, from the 1980s or late 1980s, 1989. I just don't know how they ended up making more than one of these movies. Apparently they get like stupider and funnier as it goes, but like, holy shit, this one was bad. I don't think they should have ever looked at a sequel. I've already forgotten about it, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I turned this off with 10 minutes to go. I'm still logging it. I'm still counting it, but I was like, I'm fucking done at this point because it was so bad. 1 out of 5.
Hold on. There was a movie No, it wasn't Blonde. No, it wasn't that. I want to say there was definitely a movie that I definitely, had I not had Letterboxd, I would have probably turned off at some point. And I can't remember what it is. So my score is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and look that up while we do the next one out of 10. Continue.
Perfect. All right. The Slumber Party Massacre. This was directed in 1982 by Amy Holden Jones. This was fun. It's your schlocky, typical early 80s slasher film where some teenage girls are all getting together, and now some fucking guy who this was hilarious to me. This guy was like just broke out of jail. He's like a serial killer, but like he's literally just like randomly killing these people for no reason. And I understand that's a serial killer, kind of what they do, but like literally, like he's not like picking his victims or like going one at a time.
It's on his resume.
Yeah, no, he's just literally like, oh, you have a van, I'm gonna kill you. Oh, I've stumbled by your house, I'm gonna kill you. Now I'm just going to go in the house and kill all of you for no reason. Uh-oh, here I go killing again. And it's just funny to me, honestly. But yeah, it was fun. I had a decent time with it. Will I ever think about it and watch it again? No, 3 out of 5.
The movie was Blonde. Whoops, I'm sorry. It actually was Blonde. That was the one where I was like, I'm only gonna finish this so I can properly log it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. All right, let's move on.
Also, hilarious. YouTube sent me an email saying I can choose my handle, and perhaps it's gonna be stupid of me, but my handle is gonna be passive_pixels. And the fact that I talked about maybe canceling it, maybe I just have the name of a dead podcast for forever. So
it'll always live on.
Confirmed selection.
Did you get confirmed?
All right, continue.
Did it get confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is confirmed. Your handle is reserved. Your handle is @passive_pixels. Your additional channel URL is youtube.com/@passive_pixels. Thank you, YouTube.
Perfect. Well, that was more exciting than any of the movies I just mentioned. So, anyways, for another one, Society. This was directed in 1989.
Yo, Society! Bro, watch Society.
Society, the movie. We live in a society, bro.
Yo, I know you love Joker. I know. What are you talking about? Like, why are you calling it something different?
This is directed by Brian Usna in 1989. Funny enough, this director...
He didn't direct Joker.
No, he did not.
Who started?
This director, funny enough, directed both of the Reanimator sequels. So, weird thing. I'm never going to watch those, obviously, but yeah.
A regular Kevin Gewert.
Yeah, this was fun. I mean, this was fun. This was just, again, schlocky horror. A Beverly Hills teen discovers her parents are part of a gruesome orgy cult for the social elite. That's really all you need to know here, man. It's a slow build up to that, but once you finally hit it, it's like, okay, yeah, this is worth the price of admission. This is fun. Will I ever think about it or watch it again? Billy Warlock, you star in it? No, I'm sorry, I won't. 3 out of 5.
Okay, that just sounds really ridiculous. I can say I want to watch it. I'm never fucking watching this. There's no chance. There's 0 chance I ever can out of 10.
All right. Now, since we're talking about movies I hated, let's talk about Ms. 45. This is 1981, directed by...
What the fuck is this?
Abel Ferrara. So, I'm sorry, Buffo's really going to be punching his phone now. This is a movie he recommended to me. This movie's... Okay, you know Letterboxd curves, right? This is a 3.8 on Letterboxd. I don't get why this movie is so liked. Like, I understand it's got a bit of cult status to it, and yeah, it's fun. Okay, let me explain the story to you. Here we go. Here's the caption from Ms. 45. A shy and mute seamstress goes insane after being attacked and raped twice in one day. She wanders the New York streets at night in a sexy black dress with her attacker's gun strapped to her garter belt, blowing away any man who tries to pick her up. Okay, here's my issue with this fucking movie.
What?
Yeah, so we're talking about a classic revenge film. Basically, heroine's done wrong and she goes on a killing spree to get the people that basically wronged her. That's not this movie at all. Basically, this movie, she goes insane because, yes, she's raped and attacked, which is like, okay, that's great. I always think that's a cheap tool anyways, but that's the tool we're using. Okay. And then she just literally starts killing every single guy she sees. And it's not that they're trying to hit on her. She's just literally killing any fucking guy. And I'm like,
okay, I'm dumb. You said blow away, and I thought you said just blow. And I was like, she got raped, and then she just started blowing every guy she saw. I was like, Jesus Christ!
No, blowing them away, their heads off, literally.
No, that doesn't change my interpretation.
Their heads on top of their shoulders. So yeah,
maybe it's long enough. Continue.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm on right now. I'm on fire. Let's fucking go.
Anyways, I was just annoyed with this fucking movie. There was nothing in here for me. Like, I mean, I don't think it was fun. Like, I'm just watching this and like, okay, she's literally just killing everyone because she's gone insane. I don't understand what's fun about this. But you go, girl. I guess is that what I'm supposed to be saying?
Yes, queen. Yes.
Blow his head off. Like, I just did not understand this movie, so it was not for me. I actually gave it a 1.5 out of 5. Did not like it. So yeah.
Same score as last one.
What was your last one? Oh, Water's Good. No, it wasn't Water's Good. What was it? Was fucking...
I would say that I'd be interested in watching this. It's never gonna fucking happen. It's not happening.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Vampyr now. I'm sorry to put this here, Vampyr. I'm sure you were good at one point. You've aged not very good though. This is from 1932, directed by Carl Theodor Dreyer. I respect this movie. But I'm going to be honest, this movie was an hour and 10 minutes long and I was pretty bored. So that's not good. It's very old. It's a lot of like, there's a lot of reading in the movie. Like it's not silent, but like there's like huge sections of the story that are just told through like words on the screen. I was like, okay, welcome to the 1930s, I guess. Had a creepy mood to it. So that was kind of cool. And I definitely respected it. Like there was some stuff in here that was good. And like, I think it was worth watching just, for the culture and the time, but I would absolutely never watch it again. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 purely out of respect for it and the time period.
You know what? My score is didn't hold up. You know what holds up? Well, Titanic out of 10. I'm just going to take over. I'm going to go ahead and talk about Titanic now. Damn. You know, I was telling you about a movie that jumped up in my favorites. Just this was like spot 24. And this last time I watched it. So, for reasons that I'll mention next episode, I decided to watch a whole bunch of movies loudly. And Titanic, like that's the thing. This movie, I just have it on Blu-ray. And that's the thing. I don't even think I have the right Blu-ray. Now, the reason I say that is that I bought the 3D edition, right? And the 3D edition comes on 2 Blu-rays. And then it has an extraneous Blu-ray disc. So now, I think if I had just bought the Blu-ray disc, that one would have been 4 discs as well. And I think the Blu-ray copy would have been 2 discs. So I wasn't even watching this at the best quality I could have. Anyways, the reason I bring that up is that I watched this movie so loudly, and the movie, even with it just being HD, just still looks so good. And I'm not lying. There are times where the sound was so overwhelming, I felt like my eyes were watering from just pure joy. All right, my wife was knocked out, and here's the reason. The reason I bring this up is that I'm over here just like almost watery from how excited I am about how loud it is and how good it sounds, and then contrast that to the fact that my wife was napping, and then she only woke up because of the screams of the people dying from the frozen waters on Titanic. So I'm over here just overjoyed by the fact that I'm getting to watch this so loudly and like, oh my god, this is incredible. And my wife is waking up to the sound of people dying. So I just wanted to paint that image. But yeah, Titanic. I don't understand James Cameron. How this man can just write in so many cliches. I honestly would want to rewatch this movie with note taking so I could just write down every single cliche that this man has. And yet at the end of the day, I still love this movie. I actually watched it twice in the last like time period. Okay, like I watched it one time, actually watching it, and then the other time while I was working, I put on the director's commentary. I'm still counting, okay? Shut up. If there are people who can count special features, I can count a director's commentary of the movie being on, okay? Screw it. Anyways, yeah, I actually have more respect for this movie because one, I get to watch it and that's the thing. I love it when a movie at some point just engrosses me so much that I'm not even trying to admire the strings. I'm not even looking like, oh man, that looks awesome. Like they probably had a shot of this close up and then they blew it up and they merged two cuts like together. Like, no. I'm just in the movie and I'm just watching it. So the reason I bring that up is that the entire sinking sequence in this fucking movie is insane, and I still have no idea how the hell they even did all this. And then so there's that one part, and then the other part is that watching the director's commentary, James Cameron is just explaining how they had done pretty much everything, how the challenges that came with it. So I had to specifically not watch this movie to be able to appreciate the ridiculous amount of stuff that went into making this, because if I am watching this movie, I'm too engrossed to actually try to pay attention to how they had all the strings pulling all this. And if that doesn't mark that's the thing. I am now even more firmly in the camp of not only is Titanic good, but I think it should be in consideration of one of the most fucking impressive movies ever, because not only from a technical standpoint, but from the fact that this is a movie. Avatar, people will say there's no cultural impact to it, whatever, who cares, right? Blah, 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 blah. But Titanic, on the other hand, is a movie that people still like. It went through the entire cycle of, wow, holy shit, this is good, to, wow, this is overrated, to, we hate this, and then slowly coming back up of like, yeah, we were a little too harsh on this. And now I'm here and I want to push it into the next phase of not only was it not bad, but it should be considered one of the greatest movies of all time, but also not only from a technical standpoint, but from the fact that the writing is just so bare bones and it is just barely there, and yet the performances are so good, and just, I assume the cliches are so cliche that at some point it just becomes universal that everyone can understand. This movie's fucking incredible. I love it. It is now my fourth favorite movie of all time. It jumped up from 24 all the way to the fourth. It knocks out. Oh, actually, I think you'll be happy about this. I think Annihilation was number 4.
Yes,
so,
let's fucking go!
Yeah, exactly. James Cameron came in. Honestly, I did the thing that you did, which is that I just started looking and I was like, how high can I bump this?
It's fun.
And like it was literally at like Kill Bill, but I was like, oh, I don't know if I love you more than Kill Bill. Honestly, I think I do, but I would want, like, that's the thing. It's one of those contradictory things where it's like, I'm pretty sure I like you more than Kill Bill, but I think I like Kill Bill more. Like, it's these two contradictory statements that are in my brain.
I think when you start,
do you get it?
Yeah, I think when you have to think about it, that's when you stop and you put it there. And you basically like, okay, I thought about this. Let's rewatch at some point and then reassess. But that's when you stop, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or you either think about it or you're like, no, I like Kill Bill more. But when you think about it, even if you're thinking about it, that's when it's like, okay, no, I need to, pump the brakes here.
You're right. It's your 5-star rule where if there's any hesitation, then it's not that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, but man, I am in love with this movie even more. And oh my god, the score! Oh my god, this is beautiful. No, fuck that song. Fuck that song. No, fuck that song. I hate. No, you don't understand. What hurts is that I hate Celine Dion's voice, and so to hear her voice, and then not only that, you have the little synthesizer drum on top of it that every fucking 90s movie tie-in song had. It pisses me off so fucking much. Yeah. What? Like, you don't understand that it bothers me so fucking much, because like I like sitting in, like whenever a movie hits me hard, I like sitting in for the credits, and you have the beautiful beautiful string section playing at the end of the movie. They have the kiss, they have the full 360, and then you hear like the penny whistle, da, 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 and it fades out, and it's like, damn, that was a cinematic masterpiece. And then you hear the song kick off, and every time I'm like, God damn it, you could have just chosen any other song so I could be sitting here in the credits vibing to the soundtrack, but no. Paramount just was so fucking scared of James Cameron giving them a bomb that they said, hey, Celine Dion, can you make a song, because this movie is going to bankrupt us and we need to recoup some cost. And James Cameron had no idea the song even existed. So I have beef with that song, okay? Because that beef with that song is that Paramount didn't believe in this fucking movie. Actually, no, it wasn't Paramount. I think it was Fox. Whatever, shut up. Whoever didn't believe in James Cameron, you fucked up, okay? And then he came back and he dethroned himself, okay? So fuck you. Titanic is incredible. I love this movie.
It was Paramount and 20th Century Fox. They were both part of this movie.
No, but here's the thing. I think Fox were the initial people, and then when James Cameron was like, fuck you, you are not taking me off this movie, I will kill your children if you take me off this movie, which, you know, that's conjecture. You know, I have sources, I have a couple of sources, all right, that have told me that James Cameron threatened their kids, because I don't know any other way that this man could have convinced the studio to give him $100 million. He blows through it, and instead of getting just a little bit more money, he convinces the studio to get another whole ass studio to front another $100 million. Like, I don't understand how you double your budget and convince someone if you're not threatening their kids. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah, like, I think it was Fox first, and then Paramount got in after.
Fair enough. Yeah, so Titanic, general thoughts. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the show here before, or if you even have.
No, this is actually the first time that it's gotten brought up.
Cool. Fantastic movie. And I think Titanic is... If you were to say to me, okay, I'm going to show, I think James Cameron can do no wrong, and I'm going to go somewhere with this, but if James Cameron can do no wrong, and then you put this movie in front of me as evidence, then I would believe you, because this is not the type of movie I think I should like. It's long. It's about a historical fucking thing, which is a cool story, but it's like, I don't know if it's going to be that good. But, you know, James Cameron, you know, elevates the material with, and it's not just him, like everyone involved does such a great job. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet,
Billy Zane.
Yeah. There's so many people that are just working their ass off here to make this just a spectacle, and a great movie. Now you show me Avatar, then I'm like, okay, I don't believe you anymore, but that's a whole nother story. But Titanic is it for me, man. I love this movie. I think it's great. It's been so long since I've seen this movie. I'm pretty sure I've only seen this movie twice. One, I remember going as a kid to see this in the theaters.
Yes, I want some candy. That's an inside joke. Whatever. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, but going to the theater to see this, and we were late. And this was, I'm gonna fucking date some people here, but this was before the days of reserved seating. You just came, and if you came early, you got a good seat. If you came late and it was busy, you were fucked. And we were late. It was me and my family, and the only seats available were the very front fucking row. So we sat in the very front fucking row, cranked our necks, but it was Titanic, and that shit was worth it, man, because the movie was fucking good. But yeah, and then I think I watched it once more on VHS after that, and I haven't seen it since. So I hope the rumors of the 4K are true, because I'm very excited to revisit this movie at some point. But yeah, it's from what I remember, it's a spectacle. It's great. The music, the score is fantastic. All joking aside, I actually don't even mind the Celine Dion song, but that's a whole nother story. And yeah, just everything here is just so immaculately done. And even if you don't like this type of movie, I feel like you just got to respect the sheer, like I said, basically spectacle of it all. Like it's so well made with so much passion and heart from Mr. Cameron himself. And yeah, I don't know, man. This is just such a classic. And while I don't like it quite as much as you, I mean, it's not in my top 100 of all time. I think it's a stellar movie. And, you know, looking over James Cameron's filmography, I mean, I'm a True Lies simp, so that's my favorite Cameron movie. And then, maybe I'm putting Terminator ahead of it, maybe, but it's very close between Terminator and Titanic. So it's either second or third for me. And we'll see when I rewatch it. But yeah, no, great movie.
There's something about this movie, and even hearing the director's commentary about how, dude, the most insane thing about that director's commentary is how much James Cameron focuses on accuracy and how, oh my god, this man is so incredible. He's like, yeah, so here's the thing. So of course the movie came out 97, and VHSs didn't have director's commentary, so this director commentary was from the DVD release like in 2004 2005. And so he starts talking about it, and how he's talking about it not contemporary. He's talking about basically by this point that everyone knows what Titanic is, probably in the middle of like the we hate this movie phase now. And what I love is that this man is like, yeah, so I was just making this movie, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But the fact that he focuses so much on the accuracy, and he's like, yeah, so we did this thing, yeah, this is actually still accurate, even a couple of years after this movie came out. There's people who try to argue it, but we haven't found any new evidence that shows that I filmed this wrong, so I'm very happy about that. And what I love is that there are two separate times, honestly, like, here's the thing, man, just with how media is going now with TV and movies, and the fact that physical media is like dying, to hear James Cameron say this in 2004, it just warms my heart. Yes, it's a different time, but still, I'll take whatever I can get. He talked about how some of the doors in the Titanic, he's like, yeah, those doors, we actually messed up on some of the accuracy there. Those had glass. And then he says, I'm out. I can't go back and fix it now. The movie's done. That's it. I'm not going to go and fix it. And I was just like, oh, thank you. Because, like, let's be honest, James Cameron is probably a psychopath where he wanted this thing as accurately as possible. And with how much he deep sea dives, he really cares about this. So just to hear him be like, the movie's done. Like, that's it. What am I going to do? Go fix it? No. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. We just need more of that. I guess because I want to even talk more about the music, and then which leads into this movie. This movie is, oh my god, I'm so sorry. This movie, I'm gonna talk so much about this movie, but I love the music, and I love the story, and I love the characters, because all of it feels like this movie just wants to be the perfect 4-quadrant movie. You have the first half that is supposed to appeal to basically all women with a love story, and then you have the second half that attracts like basically every single guy that has been watching all of James Cameron's other movies. And then you end up just with a 4-quadrant movie that lands with literally everyone. Sure, you have maybe some stupid boys that are at the beginning of the movie like, and then the Titanic starts crushing, and they're like, holy fuck, this is awesome. And then you have young girls who are probably watching this like, damn, Leo's dreamy. And then you go through to the second half, they're like, wow, I really hope no one dies. And then everyone still cries at the end. Which, by the way, the volume thing, I really love watching movies loud, because I think that's when they affect me even harder. Because usually when I get to the end of this movie, I'm not in tears. Like, I'm not. It's not. But I think with this movie, with the loud volume, like the fucking score when Jack dies, I was like, fuck, I feel this. This is the first time in like 25 years I've felt this. That's not accurate. Shut up. Don't fucking quote me on the years. Shut up. But I was like, man, I felt something for the first time when Jack dies. And I'm like, God, sound is so fucking cool. But yeah, I guess so. I'm at a loss for words now. I fucking love Titanic. But then in that same breath, I was in the bathroom one of these days, and I was just thinking, man, I love Titanic. And then I started thinking, man, can you imagine just like in 2005, 2004, like they announced, yeah, the guy who made Terminator and True Lies is doing a romantic drama about the sinking of the Titanic. And everyone just goes, what? That guy? And then I just start thinking, man, you remember when Michael Bay, the guy who did Bad Boys and The Rock, did a romantic drama about Pearl Harbor? And then I just started thinking about an alternate universe where, what if Pearl Harbor was actually good? And what is the ripple effects of that?
Never saw Pearl Harbor, so I have no idea.
Movie fucking sucks. Movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, no,
like you are rooting for the Japanese that entire movie because you want something to happen at least. That movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, Bay has his let's say strengths. Cameron's strengths are very different and more. So yeah, doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, no, like that movie fucking sucks. And all of his strengths are when the Japanese are destroying American soldiers. And it's one of the fucking funniest things because I'm just watching this. I'm like, yeah, Japanese, destroy our troops. Fuck yeah. And it's like, oh, god damn it. This movie sucks so badly. I'm rooting for people who ally with the Nazis. Damn it, Michael Bay. I didn't want to do this. But yeah, Titanic. I want to fucking watch it again already out of 10.
Titanic is an 8 out of 10 for me. Very good movie.
Go ahead.
All right.
I want to listen to this fucking soundtrack again already.
We're almost caught up. Let me bang out some more crappers here, and then we should be
bang it out, you whore.
Close to caught up. Let's talk about They Look Like People. This is directed in 2015 by Perry Blackshear, starring McLeod Andrews, Evan Dumichel, and Margaret Ying Drake. What the fuck is this movie, you might ask? I don't even remember how it ended up on my watch list, honestly, but it did. It's very, very independent. I gotta be honest though with you, though, it actually isn't bad for like a debut. Obviously, like movie that looks like it was made for like $20 and a 2-for-1 Baconator coupon. It's solid. It's better than I was expecting. Very creepy idea. I feel like it loses the plot a bit somewhere in the middle and maybe would have worked better as like a short film almost. It's already pretty short. It's only an hour 20, but like maybe even cut another like half an hour off that. Just kind of go like really short with it. But very interesting idea, very unique, and not what I expected. So I actually didn't mind it. 3 out of 5.
Dude, I'm still thinking about that score, man. That score is so good. There's just so much emotion into it. Like it's just this big happy movie. Sure that it's like really like they're killing so many people, but it's done so respectfully where you feel bad about it. And it's not like Pearl Harbor where you just want everyone to fucking die. God, that movie's so good. I love Titanic out of 10.
That's way too positive a score for that movie, but okay. Anyways, Happy Death Day to You. This is the sequel to Happy Death Day, directed by Christopher Landon, who also directed the first. Jessica Roth, Israel Boussard, they're all back for the sequel, and then some. This is a weird movie. This is a really, really weird movie. It's basically like, this is a compliment. And I don't mean it as a compliment, so let me be clear, but this is kind of like Sam Raimi just deciding to switch genres in like the middle of his horror trilogy, but this is not done as well. But it's still fine, but it's just not nearly as good as that. Let me be clear. But yeah, Happy Death Day is this like kind of slasher horror movie, whereas Happy Death Day to You becomes a sci-fi thriller comedy. So yeah, they decided to really fucking go in a different direction with this one. There's some fun stuff here. I mean, it's an interesting franchise, and like there's even an end credit sequence that sets up a third one that'll probably never be made because these movies bombed so bad. But yeah, it was interesting, I guess. 3 out of 5.
You see, this is why I don't like the idea of scores, because no number score in any app is going to let you put a question mark next to the 3 like you just did verbally.
That would be nice. I should ask for that as a change now that I'm a paying Letterboxd customer.
I'm just saying, I do like the idea, because like I would like it to just be like Speed Racer. I want it to be a 5 out of 10. Like so yeah, no, I'm kind of in for that. My score is going to be add question marks to the scores, losers out of 10.
Perfect. All right, let's talk about The Crow. So now we're kind of exiting the like really bad stuff. We're getting into some decent stuff now. So this is stuff that's all a little bit better. But yeah, The Crow. I dug this movie quite a bit. I had seen it before, but it had been so long, so it was a rewatch, but basically a first watch because I've only seen it once. It was actually one of my mother's favorite movies growing up. Starring the late Brandon Lee, of course, directed by Alex Proyas in 1994. It's about a guy who's, brutally murdered by a gang, him and his wife on Halloween Eve, and he basically resurrects and takes revenge. Really good movie, honestly. It's just really solid. It feels gothic. It feels great. It's like a perfect vibe movie for Halloween. It's not scary, but like just that vibe and everything taking place over the course of Halloween. It feels perfect for that. But yeah, it's kind of like I think this is based off of comic book characters. This is kind of like a comic book
Correct.
movie before comic books were even a thing. And yeah, just really well made. You wouldn't see something this dark from that kind of genre anymore, so that was cool.
Yep.
Good performances from everyone. Ernie Hudson's in this as well, and I love him. He's always fantastic, and whatever that guy shows up in. But yeah, no, there's a ton of good stuff in this movie still. It holds up really well in my opinion. And it absolutely tragic what happened to Brandon Lee, and it's a shame that that's kind of what this movie's become famous for, because it was clear to me with this movie, like there was probably a really bright future for that kid ahead of him, because he did great here, and I think there would have been a lot of good stuff for him. So very sad, but yeah, definitely a movie worth watching. You've seen this, right, Ed?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
So this movie's good. So I want to get my joke out, which is that if this is one of your mom's favorite movies, I see where you get your edginess from. So I don't think it gets more edgy than The Crow. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I love how much of a product of its time it is. I did enjoy Brandon Lee. Like, this man he did have some good screen presence, and to know that like literally this was like his big break and then he's dead, it's like, oh wow, that is actually such a big shame. I don't remember much of it. I just know I've watched it. I was positive on it. I was impressed. I'm pretty sure I watched it recently enough that seeing a movie from the 90s and seeing that some of the special effects actually still hold up, I was like, okay, yeah, that's great. And then you add to the fact that he died in the middle of shooting, which means that they had to do a couple of CGI trickery to get more of his stuff onto the screen. It's like, God, that going back to Titanic again, because like I guess I just can't leave it. Watching that movie, oh dude, there's an entire scene where they actually did kind of the same thing, where they mapped Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet's face on the stunt doubles when they needed the stunt doubles to do something, but they still needed a front shot of their faces. And when they said that, I was working and then I heard that shit and I turned around and I rewound it and I was like, I can't tell. Oh my fucking God, how did you do this? And honestly, that is what I remember more than anything else about The Crow, is just, how did you guys do this in the 90s where people can't even do that shit properly now? I don't understand. What did we do? We need to go back and figure out where we messed up along the timeline, because, God, yes. So, my score for this one is going to be, yeah, that holds up out of 10, and also tragedy out of 10.
Yeah, very true. That's a 7 out of 10. It's a banger. All right, I'm going to squeeze in one more, and then I think we're basically caught up at that point.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to talk about The Invitation, not to be confused with the fucking god-awful one from this year. This is a different Invitation, 2015. Directed by Karen Kusama, who also actually is the director of Jennifer's Body, which I didn't realize until after I fucking watched it. So that was kind of cool. Well, this movie, man, I dug it actually quite a bit, and it's sat around a bit with me. Also, by the way, Logan Marshall Green, fake what's his name? Fake Tom Hardy.
Not Tom Hardy. Yeah,
not Tom Hardy. Yeah, he's here too. I like him. But yeah, this movie, definitely burrowed under my skin a bit. Basically, here's the plot: Will and his new girlfriend Kiara are invited to a dinner with old friends at the house of Will's exes, Eden, and her new partner David. Although the evening appears to be relaxed, Will soon gets a creeping suspicion that their charming host David is up to something. And yeah, it just it takes a nice slow build. You're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Then you kind of think you got it all figured out, and they pull the rug out from you. There's a lot of twists and turns throughout the story. But yeah, so suffice to say, there's a lot of themes in this movie I like, and there's a lot of very interesting stuff here. Very low reviews for this on Letterboxd. I guess, I don't know, the hipsters didn't like it so much, but I dug it. I mean, I don't think it's a classic or anything like that, but it was definitely one of the better movies I watched in my House of Spooks marathon, new movies anyways. And it's definitely one I would watch again, because I think it was unique, a cool idea, and really well executed. It definitely left me thinking. So yeah, this was enjoyable.
Yeah. My score is going to be, so I redeemed $10 at Best Buy out of that 50 that I mentioned earlier. I bought a Dune Steelbook earlier, but I canceled it instead so I could buy Dune and Army of Darkness together and get free shipping. And I spent $60 in total out of 10.
Just, this is on your watch list, by the way.
Real? How the fuck do these? Oh my god! It's like ants and bugs that get in your house. It's like, where do you? Who put you on here? It's not. Is it maybe because I left food out for like an entire week that you guys showed up? Is it my fault? No, it's your guys' fault. I didn't do this. I'm going to do anything except the fact that I'm the person to blame.
There you go. All right, you want to go something there? I think we're even now. So I got 8 left.
Okay, yeah. Steve Jobs. This one's gonna be. I'm
just gonna mute myself so you don't hear my constant gagging throughout this. Go ahead.
No. You don't understand. I like it whenever there's sounds that whenever I go back editing, I'm like, oh, I'm so boosting that up. Ugh. Because that's what we here at Passive Pixels have editing. Don't know what podcast would exist without editing. There's too many inside jokes for anyone who's not on the Discord. Well,
this isn't an inside joke, though. We explained it earlier this episode, so you are all privy to the joke now of Buffalo the Clown.
No. But look, I don't want to assume that people are. I don't want to assume people are listening to the entire episode. I want people to use the timestamps.
People shouldn't listen to the fucking any of the episode, but here they are. So what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Yes. Okay, yes. Okay, you know what? Okay, look. I know that, it's preferable if you only if you lose a hand compared to losing all 4 limbs, but at the end of the day, a limb is getting cut off. It has to be better if you weren't losing any limbs, but okay. If you gotta choose.
Okay, Jigsaw, we're not doing this right now. Talk about Steve Jobs.
Hello, Steve Jobs. Well, you spread the 666 blood of aborted babies on all your phones and sold yourself to them. You see, that now I'm doing it again. Now I'm doing more inside jokes from the Discord. You see, this is a problem. Okay, anyways, I guess I'll explain that one. My cousin had sent me a meme where it was an old Spanish woman in Spanish talking about how apparently Apple iPhones are made from the devil because Stevie Jobs had sold his soul to the devil, and that every iPhone is spread with the blood of 666 aborted fetuses. There you go. I like I said, I'm not trying to get people to use the fucking timestamps. Don't listen to this entire episode. I know I try to cut these episodes down, but they're still too long. What was I talking about? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. I'm gonna go ahead and bundle this with The Social Network because Steve Jobs was supposed to be a spiritual sequel to The Social Network. Anyway, Steve Jobs. Michael Fassbender fucking kills it. This movie is actually very good, and I don't know exactly what it is, but the ending of the movie is what kind of bothers me and brings down this movie for me. I can't really describe it because it doesn't do anything wrong. The entire movie is very good. Michael Fassbender and Kate Winslet going back and forth. Seth Rogen is incredible in this movie. He's one note, but his character is supposed to be kind of one note because he's hammering the same idea, but that one note that Seth Rogen is hitting is fucking great. And so is Jeff Daniels. The way that this movie works is that it takes place across 3 time periods. It takes place right before I don't even remember what the first one takes place. It takes place in the 80s, right? And then the second one takes place in the 90s, and then the last one, Nate, that doesn't sound right. No, that sounds right, 90s. And then the last one, I think, takes place in the early 2000s. So it's not really a biopic. It is more of just, it's still a biopic because it's trying to understand who this man was. And the way that they do it is that 30 minutes before presenting a new piece of tech on stage, basically every single person in his life wants to just have a very deep philosophical conversation with him, which is honestly hilarious that this is the framework, but whatever, it works. It really does work. And then not only that, they change the cinematography like they changed the entire style across each section. So like the 80s one feels way more kind of lo-fi, grimier. Like it still looks clean, but like it looks like what you would imagine an 80s movie kind of would look like. Like if for some reason someone was filming a Steve Jobs biopic in the 80s, this is exactly what it would look like. Then the one in the 90s looks a lot like the 90s, and the one in the 2000s is like digital and clean. It's like, this is fucking awesome. And then the score, God, the score is so good, but specifically in the second segment of this movie, it goes full on like just orchestral, and oh my god, it's dope. And then there's like a 10-minute sequence that is all about like, it's contrasting Steve Jobs' current situation and when he got fired from Apple, and it's done so well between the editing and the slipping back and forth between present day and flashback, and the music is doing it like, oh my god, the movie is so good. And then I go back to the ending. I don't know what it is. I feel like even though the ending has a resolution for his character, it doesn't ring as well as like the Social Network does. Like when the Social Network ends, it just, it feels kind of like this, yeah, like you did it, you pissed off everyone, but now you have gotten technically the last lap because your ex is now on a platform that you built. Like the Social Network, whenever it ends, it feels like, yeah. Also, that entire final speech with Andrew Garfield with your, oh, what is it? Sorry, my Prada's in the cleaner along with my hoodie and your. Okay, oh, it is just a hoodie. I literally had to quote it to remind myself if there is something with the hoodie. But that entire speech with the hoodie and the fuck you flip-flops is incredible, and that feels like such a punctuated ending, that Steve Jobs kind of ending with him connecting with his daughter after he just kind of terrible to her for the most part, and not wanting to acknowledge her for her entire life. Like, it's still a good resolute ending. It just doesn't hit as hard as it should, because yes, there is build up to it, but I kind of would have liked if there was more build up to seeing Steve Jobs like actually accepting her as a daughter. But I feel like maybe that's a bit hamstrung by the framing of the movie that they have, where it's like, this is the 80s, this is the 90s, and the 2000s, so when you come back you're kind of playing catch up. So even in the first segment he's like, yeah, that's not even my girl, get away. And then the second segment he's kind of like, okay, yeah, like you're around, I'm gonna try and help you, I care about you a little bit. And then you get to the last one and he's just like, oh yeah, I need to pay for your college. So it's all there, but I still kind of wish that there were more tracks on the trail before we get to that ending. But yeah, no, like the script, Aaron Sorkin knows how to fucking write tech billionaires. Like, this man just has it down. Like, the writing and the dialogue and the fact that you give it to all these actors, like, again, Kate Winslet, Jesus Christ, Kate Winslet is twice on this list, and I just have to praise her even more. This woman is British, and she sounds perfect speaking American in Titanic. Shut up, whatever, American. And then she has like this complete, I don't even know what country she has this accent from in Steve Jobs, but it sounds great. Like, I watched the video kind of like breaking down the movie a little bit more, and to hear the actual woman that she's based on speak, and then hear Kate Winslet, is like, oh my god, that is such a that is such an uncommon accent that I don't know how the hell you pull it off as well as you do. But yeah, Steve Jobs, this movie's good. It's good. I'm happy I saw it. And you already know me, I hate Apple, but I also hate a lot of things around that same level. So, I can't share the same hatred that you do. But I don't know, man. This one's still good. I may have not liked Steve Jobs, and I still don't like Apple. The funny thing is that in one of the videos that I watched, it was Aaron Sorkin. He's like, yeah, so when we were making the Social Network, I read it, and the book is called The Accidental Billionaires. So Aaron Sorkin based the Social Network off of that when he was writing. He's like, yeah, when I read this, like, I just kind of Oh, he had a good line. He said something like, it is up to these books to be impartial, but me as a screenwriter, I'm supposed to be partial so I can write the narrative. And so that's where his partialness worked for The Social Network. He's like, this is the way that I interpret Mark Zuckerberg as a person. So I made him kind of an insecure person, and I wanted to ground that in a certain way. I think the girlfriend was made up, so he kind of, I think he threw that in there. This is speculation at this point, because I know the girlfriend is fake, and I know that he wrote it, so he probably did that to kind of enforce it more, the insecurity part of it. And he's talking about how, like, I kind of understood that. But then I read the Steve Jobs biography book, and he's like, I don't understand how to make this man relatable or palpable for audiences, because this man is an asshole. And Aaron Sorkin is a dad, he has a daughter, and he's like, I can't imagine saying any of this shit to my daughter. I don't understand how it's supposed to make this palpable. And he said it wasn't until he spoke to Steve Jobs' daughter that he realized, oh, he did, but like, damn, he was an asshole for a majority of it. So I almost think like maybe that's me. That might be my problem with the movie, is that the movie hinges on trying to make him relatable isn't a right word. I don't think I know the English language enough to know what the proper word is instead of relatable, but it humanizes him. I don't know, like it makes it so an audience can see why they want to follow this man. But the thing is that I feel like he is such an asshole, and he is so particular about things that even if you don't want to root for him, which honestly I wasn't rooting for him at all in this movie, but I feel like that's kind of the point, because like he's not someone you want to root for. He's just a guy who somehow continuously gets things done. So adding kind of the daughter part, I like it, but at the same time, I feel like maybe Steve Jobs' life didn't exactly lead to something that feels as resolute as like, yeah, he did all this and he was an asshole, but he still cared about his daughter. Yeah, that's still probably true, but I feel like even in his life, maybe the train tracks aren't there to be like, yeah, he cared about his daughter. So yeah, I feel it's weird, because I feel like I sound way more conflicted about this movie, but I'm not. I think it's good, although I do think that going down from Danny Boyle from David Fincher, that I don't think that hurt the movie. I mean, it probably did hurt the movie, because I would have loved to see David Fincher do this instead. But Danny Boyle did great. This movie's good. This movie's good. The acting, fucking great. Cinematography, awesome. Music, good. Like I really do think it's just that I wish that ending would have just hit harder. But I don't know. It gets into this weird segment of like, I'm trying to interpret reality into this biopic, and I'm coming up differently. So, Dorian, from here, I mean, feel free to talk shit about Steve Jobs. Do you want to talk about Danny Boyle? Do you want to talk about Aaron Sorkin? Here you go. I don't really know what's going to be going on here.
So let me talk about. Excuse me. Let me talk about. Excuse me. Let me try one more time.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, like the entire movie, he's an asshole. So you could just be like, yes, you make him into an asshole.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, we're gonna talk about. No comment.
Grab the bag.
No comment.
Go get it on the laptop now.
Yeah, no comment. I'm done.
What would it take to get you to watch this movie?
Oh boy, you don't want to know, honestly. Probably. I'll look. I'll have to tell you off the air, because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But you won't like it, whatever it is.
Look, I'm not saying that's the thing, because like I think it's good. I'm not even, that's the thing, because like don't forget that I still have a golden ticket to get you to play a game. I still have that. Like it's in my back pocket
to play a game. We're not crossing over into cinema territory here.
Oh, okay, come on, let's be honest. If I chose a 50-hour game, I'd be like that. You said it in a game. You said it in a game. And if I said,
and I would
convert it over to a 2-hour movie.
And I would rather play that 50-hour game than a fucking Steve Jobs movie. That much I promise you.
Wow. God damn. Damn, okay.
My spite runs deep, my friend.
No, I know it does, but then we always reach like another level. Like, imagine you're in an elevator that just keeps going down. You're like, dude, we're not even, the numbers aren't even on the panel anymore. How far are we going?
No, we can go far on that one.
I would say that I'm impressed by the dedication, but really at this point, I've been on this elevator for like 2 years now. So it's just like, man, we're still going, huh? I've been falling for 13 minutes.
So yeah, my official score, by the way, is out of 10.
Never mind. I'm moving on to the Social Network. Social Network is fucking incredible. It's on the shelf. Let's fucking go. Oh my god, dude, the Social Network. So I don't remember what. Oh, I remember. Things I won't mention that made me very sad. Whatever. That one, you guys maybe never know about that one, but that's fine. At some point, maybe I'll tell you if the show is still going on and it happens. Whoops, sorry for the vagueness. Anyways, I was very sad. I couldn't sleep. No. I went to sleep really early, and then I woke up really early. Went to sleep like at 8 p.m. And then I woke up at 4 a.m. And I was like, all right, let me keep trying to go to sleep. And I woke up at 5 a.m. It's like, well, I go to work in 2 hours. Fuck it, let's get up. So I get up, and I see the Columbia Collection Volume 2 that I bought a while back. And it's just sitting there. And I'm thinking, man, I kind of want to watch The Social Network. And so I put it on. And by the way, this 4K cut, Sony, their 4K cuts are so clean, and this is no exception. The Social Network looks so clean, and whenever it gets released from the Columbia Collection Volume 2, this is one to buy. This is just looks incredible. But also, man, I'm going to talk about the score again, but that score, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, I think the first time that those two collaborated, the soundtrack is perfect. It is exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like tech punk. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. If I find out that that's a genre later on, cool, awesome, I stumbled upon it. But like, tech punk, it just sounds like it has like this darkness into it. And honestly, it's funny looking at it 12 years later that whenever you look at it in 2010, it's like, really, David Fincher, the guy who did Seven, directed The Social Network, and then you look at Meditated, and you're like, that was actually perfect. Damn, wow, look at that. So yeah, The Social Network is great. It is so good, and I think it's perfect. That's the thing, it may not be in your taste, but like, if there's someone who's like, I don't like Back to the Future, I think Back to the Future is perfect. It doesn't mean that like you're gonna like it, but whenever you look at that movie, I don't know what there's anything you can cut out. And I think The Social Network is in that same vein of like, I don't think like there's anything you can cut in this movie to make it better. This is the best movie that it could have been. I don't know if there's anything that you could have shaved off, like maybe a slight editing change. Like, I don't think there's anything you can do. This is the best version of this movie that we could have ever gotten. And I love it. It's on the shelf. Oh my god, I forgot completely that this is where my very deep love for man, why can I remember the character of Eduardo Saverin, but I can't remember Andrew Garfield? Holy shit! Oh my god, that never happens. I filled time with my sentence to see if I could get back there, and I remembered his name. Yes! Anyways, Andrew Garfield. Man, I forgot this is where my love for him started. So being able to watch this, and then we go into the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which that wasn't really good for your career, but that's okay because you're coming back. But man, he's so fucking good in this movie. Oh my god, he is absolutely the MVP in this movie. How the hell did you get Justin Timberlake to turn in such a good performance? Like, oh my god, this movie is so good. And honestly, it would make me really sad because of like other stuff that like Gone Girl exists, and Gone Girl's awesome, but like if someone locked David Fincher in a room and they're like, you're only gonna read biographies now and you choose the next one that's gonna be your next project, I wouldn't be mad because, like, you know, Steve Jobs is over there and Steve Jobs is good and it has Aaron Sorkin, but like if you could just have like can we just get like Aaron Sorkin and Steve Jobs in a room and then like Bill Gates spontaneously combust, and then they're both like, ah, shit, I guess we have to make a movie about Bill Gates now. Can I just please get that? Like, I need more of this. Hell, I just need more of David Fincher. Where the fuck is David Fincher? Can we start printing this man on the back of milk cartons? Like, where is this man? Is he doing anything? So yeah, the Social Network. Kino. Cinema at its finest. Scorsese out of 10.
Yeah. So, okay. First of all, to answer your question about David Fincher, the last thing he was doing the Mindhunters Netflix show that obviously got canceled.
I know he did Mank, but like, come on.
Yeah, he did Mank, which is also Netflix, and then Love, Death, and Robots, which was Netflix. He was very involved in the new season of that and directed one of those. So he's basically in bed with Netflix right now.
God damn it.
And I like Mank actually too, so I don't even mind that movie. But
I still need to watch Mank, but I'm just like, I should probably watch Citizen Kane first. Yeah. Even if you tell me I don't need it, I still would want it.
No, I agree with that. Look, The Social Network. I mean, this is one of my more controversial takes. As far as Addy takes goes, yeah. I actually do like this movie. I think it's good. But Filtered! You just don't think it's that. I just think it's overrated, man. I really do.
Clown!
I really do. Like in my David Fincher rankings, this is 7th out of the top 10 out of the 10 movies.
Honk, motherfucker!
So yeah, I it's a good movie. It's well made. The score is one of the most memorable things from me. I think Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross do an incredible job here. So good, and it's like really memorable. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think part of it is just I mean, this is gonna sound stupid, but I just don't think I really like Jesse Eisenberg. And you know, that works. And I get it. Yeah, he's really hateable here as Zuck.
Yeah,
but it's just I feel like and maybe this is just my peanut-sized brain, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But I feel like for me to really, and again, I like this movie. I don't dislike it. It's not a bad movie. So let me clearly hear with that. But for me to love a movie, for me to be full on gung ho love a movie, I kind of have to give a shit about what it's about. Like, that's just the way I feel. There has to be some base level of like, I give a shit about this. Like, I care about what's going on. I care about the story. I care about these characters. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck about Facebook. I don't give a fuck about Mark Zuckerberg. And God bless you, David Fincher, for making this interesting and a good movie to me, because I don't think anyone else could have. And if this was by any other director with any other combination of people, I probably would have never even watched this movie, because I do not fucking care about Zuckerberg and Meta and Facebook, and I hope it crashes to the ground and burns. But just the content matter to me is not interesting. I know Mark Zuckerberg's a piece of shit. I get that. Really interesting. You've done a great job with the film, but I would just much rather prefer Fincher's original stuff, personally. It just hits harder for me.
Most of the time I choose violence. Today I'm going to choose peace. We're both saying the same thing from the opposite end, which is that David Fincher made the best possible version of the Social Network out of every single multiverse potential where the Social Network exists. And Aaron Sorkin is writing it. David Fincher probably is the one universe where it is better than every other universe.
I agree.
So you know what? Now I'm going to choose violence. You fucking idiot. I fucking hate you, you fucking stupid moron. I swear to God, I'm going to run you over one of these days.
And let's finish that with my score, which is a 7 out of 10.
I hate you. My score is filtered out of 10. You got fucking filtered. Okay, now that I've gotten the I guess the theatrics out of the way. When was the last time you watched it?
It has been a while. I've only seen it once, so I would rewatch it again at some point, probably.
Because here's my argument. You have a film brain now. Like you've done it. Like you have officially cemented yourself as credibility until you start calling everyone else a snob, and it's like, oh, I hate you. You can't love Blonde and then be like, oh, the fucking snobs. This is for the people. Like, shut up. Black Adam's for the people. Get out of here.
I don't know if my opinion's gonna change that much though, because it wasn't that long ago I watched it. But maybe, like, I would definitely rewatched it. I would say it's probably been this wasn't a kid movie. Like, I watched this movie like a few years ago, so it wasn't that long ago. But I would definitely try it again at some point. It was good.
I mean, keep in mind, like, I went from like Titanic 2 years ago, literally at the beginning of Passive Pixels, and put it at 24, and then 2 years later, I put it at 4.
Yeah, you
so
never
I
know.
mean, like,
I'll put it to this way.
That's what a lot of movies have done to me, where I appreciate it even more. So, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, who knows? It might be a 7.678.
I put it to you this way: there is a 300% chance I will watch this again over Steve.
It's a good movie though. Like, I feel bad that I made it sound so negative. Like, and then The Social Network, on the other hand, I have no notes. Good job, David Fincher. Good fucking incredible shit. Honestly, hold on. You know what? Let's check this, because actually, okay, I am checking this, but let's be honest, I won't go through with it. The Social Network Steelbook. Now, the reason I say I'm never going to do that is because The Social Network, like, it came in the Columbia Collection box thing. Like, I don't want to ever get rid of that, because, like, I know that, like, the box set was like only $100 or like more, but I am kind of insane in that if I have a piece of like a collection, I need to keep it. Oh yeah, by the way, shelf. I bought 2 shelves and I put them on the wall, and one of them is a TV shelf and the other one is who the fuck knows shelf. And the reason I have the shelf is because I can't throw away boxes. So, like, Akira, that came out in a big box. Okay, I put it there. Oh, the End of Evangelion is on the shelf because I love that movie, but I also hate the series. But, like, the series is integral to enjoying End of ABS. So there's Neon Genesis Evangelion on the shelf because it's necessary. Oh, look, it's the box of the outer box that came with my Italian copy of Goodfellas, the Steelbook, because I can't throw that away. So it's like, oh, hold on, Midsummer the book, because it's too big and I can't put it on my shelf. Like, so yeah, you know what? If I ever did find a Social Network Steelbook, I would probably just throw the box on there. And you know, I said all that. I'm filling in. And no, I don't think the Social Network has ever gotten a Steelbook. That is actually insane to me that it's never gotten one. Yeah, okay, I don't know what else. Masterpiece out of 10. I don't know what else I can say.
Alrighty then. I already gave my score, so let's move on. So you did 2 there, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't really have a pair. Well, I got 1 pair, but I think I'm saving that closer to the end or until you enact it. So let's do Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. This is Bezos Mania here. Amazon, of course, Prime exclusive. So I'm actually
God, David Fincher make a movie with Aaron Sorkin about whenever he takes over the world. Oh my God.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, please.
So yeah, I'm really digging this show quite a bit, which surprises me. I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. I like them, especially I think Two Towers is great. I think Fellowship is solid, but I really don't like Return of the King as a movie. So I was going into this with pretty low expectations. I'm not a big fantasy guy either, so also keep that in mind. Just, unless it's old-timey mystical. I do like old-timey mystical, but fantasy, that's a base genre.
Clown, filtered.
It's just not for me. But I'm really digging this so far. I'm genuinely shocked by a lot of the hate. And I understand some of it is just bigots.
They put black people
and racists and homophobes and those type of horrible people. But I also
spoke.
And I also understand another certain subset. It'll just be of hardcore Lord of the Rings the movie fans that will never be able to move past them. So I understand that too. I understand that too. But I think there's something really good here. And especially the last episode I just watched, which is the highest rated episode of the series so far. It's called Udin. And you get like a big battle sequence, and there's lots of other cool shit going on in it. There's just, the characters are all really interesting here. It feels warm and fuzzy, the show, like Tolkien's kind of thing should be. It's definitely a little bit cheesy, corny at time, but again, like I'm fine with that. That's just his writing. Sometimes I feel he's definitely willing to have a little bit more fun than something like Game of Thrones. which is a lot darker. But yeah, no, I'm just having a great time with this so far. I've got 2 episodes left. I might, after the recording, kick them back and watch them tonight, or if not, I'll watch them over the next couple of days. But I've just been shockingly enjoying this so far. There's a lot to it. I've definitely, like, a lot of the characters I've vibed with pretty hard. And I'm in no place to talk, any expert on what's going on. I'm nowhere near close to being a Lord of the Rings fan, even super fan. So I'm just kind of just sitting here and enjoying the ride and taking a crack at who Sauron is and guessing pretty much every person every 3 seconds. So I'm having a good time with it. And I think that's why, because I don't have the movies in such high reverence. I don't need to sit there and compare this to anything. I can just say, hey, this is fun. I like these characters, and I'm having a pretty good time.
Literally, like, they have like a breakdown of the episode at the end of each episode. Like, okay, this is the way that we decided. They have cast and crew talking, and you're like, I bet that's Sauron. I bet that's Sauron.
I've literally guessed every person at this point is Sauron. And yeah, it's getting a little bit excessive. I think I know though for sure who it is now, but I'll confirm
now with enough.
What's that?
No, go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'll confirm if I know when I finish it.
At this point, now that there was a turning point where people started liking it with the second half of the season, I'm kind of convinced more and more that it's weird when there's a big franchise universe, like Star Wars and Marvel are the other ones that come to mind, or like superheroes in general, actually, not even just Marvel, where it's like, I kind of just like you as movies. I don't want to be in your universe. I'm fine. Lord of the Rings, I think that trilogy I appreciate as films more than anything else, and the technical craft going into them, and the fact that I bought in completely, but I don't think I really care about Middle-earth the same way that I don't care about Star Wars space, and the same way that I don't care about a Marvel universe or a DC universe. Just give me good shit, and I don't want to be sold on, like, well, if you want more of this universe, like, no, you already lost me once you say that. So yeah, Lord of the Rings of Power, it would have to be monumental. Like, I'd have to hear people talking about this shit like people talked about Game of Thrones season 3, 4, or 6 for me to be like, okay, I'll go back. Like, it needs to be that overwhelming. But yeah, I filtered out of 10. I'm just gonna hold that trilogy and cry for the rest of my life out of 10.
Fair enough. No rating yet, but I will say it is definitely, I've liked it enough that I will watch season 2. So it's past my strenuous TV test, which many have failed, most recently Yellowstone. All right. I'll do one more here. We'll talk about Onibaba next. Onibaba.
I just want to say that might be the last time that Yellowstone ever leaves your lips. I want you to know that.
I hope so. Yeah, that show was just fucking mid-city, man. Jesus Christ. All right, Onibaba, directed in 1964 by Kento Shindo. This is, I guess, a really, really early Japanese horror film. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not the first. I'm not going to look that shit up. I'm sure it's not, but definitely a memorable one. This one's really interesting. So it's not really a traditional horror movie, as most Japanese horror movies, I feel, aren't sometimes. I'll be talking about another one later that's kind of similar in that regard. And the fact that they're not really, like, there's not a lot of jump scares in this. It's not trying to be scary that particularly. It just kind of gets you with the vibe and is creepy. And then at the end, you kind of finally get some stuff that's veering more towards horror. But yeah, no, this is interesting. It's a tale about basically a woman and her daughter-in-law, and they're trying to survive a pretty brutal war. Lots of samurais are at war right now, and they're just trying to, do their own thing. They end up killing a samurai that comes across their path, and then basically you get a little bit of a curse that happens, and there's lots of cool stuff. The movie keeps you guessing a little bit. It definitely feels its age a little bit at points, but it's still well made enough that you can definitely go back and watch this and be like, yeah, this is good shit. And there's no, distracting 1964 CGI you have to worry about either. So that's good too. Yeah, no, great movie overall. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's just like, I kind of have a rule with some exceptions, but for the most part, the rule is if you don't get over an 8, I'm not going to get the Criterion for it. This is a Criterion collection. So this movie is just going to miss out on that because, I ended up giving it a 7 out of 10. But I do feel that I would like to rewatch it one day because I feel like there's a lot more to it. And vibes just work so much for movies. I mean, especially in horror movies, and this one just really, really did a good job with that. And I like the whole samurai shit, man. I watched, this isn't on my list at all, but I'll tie it in here quickly. I watched a 50-minute documentary on Akira Kurosawa that was on the special features for the Seven Samurai Criterion. You sold me, Ed. And it was great. Like watching that and just seeing like the fucking, like the foresight and the mastery that went into work all the way back in the 50s there is just insane. And even here, like this is obviously a little bit later in 1964, but still definitely ahead of its time. So really cool to see that sort of stuff.
What was the movie again?
Onibaba.
Onibaba. And who directed it?
Kanto Shindo.
Okay, all right,
Kanato
cool.
Shindo.
I was that's the thing. I was thinking for a second. When you brought up Seven Samurai, I was like, wait a minute. I know he didn't say Akira Kurosawa. And I was like, that's probably the only thing that will make me want to watch it. I'm fine. I'm good out of 10. I'm okay.
Yeah, I think you got enough on your plate without adding more, so I understand that.
I'm fine. I still have the Criterion app. It's like, I've maybe watched literally one movie in my access to it over the last 4 years.
Fair. All right. You go ahead.
All right. I have. Oh boy. All right. It's time for tragedy. It's time for tragedy.
Oh.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, okay. Oof.
I'm sorry, everybody. Saving Private Ryan. He's MIA from the shelf. He was pulled. I'm not gonna
honorable
lie.
Discharge, though, right? Honorable discharge, at least.
Yeah, no, honorable, completely
okay.
honorable.
All right.
All right. I understand what I'm going to say might not make sense. But that I cop to it. But I still feel like it makes enough sense that hopefully I can beat the charges. Saving Private Ryan is a blueprint for Band of Brothers. Fair? Sure, good enough. I'll take the silence as yes. I love Band of Brothers. I got the Blu-rays for it. It's sitting on that TV shelf. Like, it's there, right? Now, I just kept watching Saving Private Ryan. And it's the Band of Brothers thing. I'm saying that as a general term, not as like a name. Like it's the Band of Brothers thing. It's war, and these guys become bonds, and the brothers, and yeah. It's good. It's very good. It's honestly one of the best war movies ever made, and just from a technical standpoint, that opening is undefeated, and even everything afterwards. There's nothing that's been more viscerally put on a screen than that knife battle at the end. I'm not trying to take anything away from this movie. I just like Band of Brothers more, and so now at this point, I liked it less. I feel so bad because I still really respect this movie. My respect hasn't dropped for this movie at all. And that John Williams score, oh boy, this man brings it. But also, I just really like Band of Brothers, and I don't know what it is. It feels so wrong. It feels so wrong to just not have Saving Private Ryan in my collection. And then my best explanation that I can point to is that I just really love Band of Brothers, and it's like some of my love from Saving Private Ryan just transferred over instead to this, and I feel so dirty. I feel so wrong, but I gotta listen to how I feel, and so Saving Private Ryan. I sold it already. I sold it. It got sold off with my previous copy of Goodfellas and a copy of Avengers Infinity War. I got $50 out of all three of them, and I feel terrible. Dorian, go ahead.
Yeah, I like Saving Private Ryan more, I think. I like them both, though. I think they're both pretty good. Again, Mr. I'm not a big war fan over here, so we need to
Yeah.
contextualize that. So I think maybe I like Saving Private Ryan more just because it's like tighter to me. Like it's only like a couple hours in one movie compared to a longer miniseries. Although, like I said, I did like Band of Brothers by the end too. It was good, very good. But yeah, like it's hard for me to know how much of my like for Saving Private Ryan is the quality of the movie, or how much of it is a certain person getting their head blown off. So that is difficult as well. But yeah, really, I love Saving Private Ryan. I think it's great. I've only seen it once, and funny enough, it was like for the first time a couple of years ago in the movie theater. So it was a cool way to experience it for the first time. Yeah. And it was good. I really enjoyed the heck out of it. It's one of my, if I was to make like a top 5 war movie list, it would be in there for sure. Like without a shadow of a doubt. Maybe top 3 even. So good shit. Really like it. But I think your opinion's fine and understandable. Like I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people probably prefer Band of Brothers to it. They probably have Band of Brothers as their, like I know a lot of people have Band of Brothers as their favorite miniseries, TV series, whatever you want to call it, of all time. So I don't think it's a particularly hot take or a controversial one.
That's the thing. Like I respect this movie so much, and it feels this is the hardest line that I've had to draw in the sand of the shelf is supposed to be my favorites and not what I think is quality. Because Saving Private Ryan, absolutely, this one hurts more than Seven Samurai. All right, oh there we go. I hope Buffa the Clown is angry about that one, but this one, oh my god, it feels like it's empty. Like imagine if I didn't like The Godfather enough, respected it, but just didn't like it enough to keep it. Like that's what this feels like to me, and just. I'm disgusted with myself out of 10.
So that's rock solid 8 out of 10 for me. Great movie. Can I check something? How much do you have left now?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
And we share one. I've got 6, so let me bang out a couple of here.
Damn.
All right, we'll talk about Cyberpunk.
Dorian Hour Part 2.
No, only 2. Cyberpunk 2077. Let's talk about this game. The big beautiful mess from CD Projekt Red. I finally finished it. 50 hours into the game. I'm done. It is over, Samurai. You're good. It's a mixed bag for me. I'm probably going to sound overly negative when I talk about it, but I actually really enjoyed the experience for the most part. There's a lot to like about this game, but I feel it is definitely, I think, a little bit overrated by people. I think some people are nut hugging this game a little bit too hard, and maybe CDPR in general. Like I don't know. I've never played the Witcher game, so maybe they're better. Everyone says Witcher 3 is better, so that's fine. But I think this game's good. I think it's really good. But it has a lot of flaws, man. Like the gameplay in this game, straight up, I just did not find fun for like a good chunk of the game. Like there were so many points in this game where I was like, man, I wish I was playing Deus Ex, like in terms of like that gameplay. Because in Deus Ex, man, like I don't know how you played Deus Ex, but I would always do stealth. Like I wouldn't kill a single fucking person, and I fucking had a blast doing that. In Cyberpunk, you can't do that, man. The stealth in Cyberpunk fucking sucks. Like there's occasions where it'll work and you'll pull something off and it feels great. And it's like, oh, that was awesome. But for 99% of the time, you're going to fucking trip something up and then it's just, okay, it's guns blazing time now. And the gunplay in the game just is not fun. The gunplay in this game is so atrocious that I ended up grinding enough money early on just to get the mono wire so I could play exclusively melee at that point. And that is more fun, I will admit. Like slashing people to death is more fun, and watching their heads fall off and stuff like that. It's good shit. But the actual gunplay is just not in this game. It just did not feel right to me. It feels off. And I don't know if it's just the mechanics of it or if it's just because it's an RPG. So you're like shooting people in the head and you're just seeing a health bar tick down. That's always been weird to me. I don't get that. So yeah, that was definitely a miss for me. The narrative itself is great. Like I love the story in this game. It's very mature. It's very thoughtful. There's a lot to it that I really enjoyed. And the immersion and the world building they do in this game is second to none. It's so well made in that regard. But then there's so many little things in this game that take you out of the immersion. the first half of the game I was pretty lucky with bugs and glitches. I guess they were all just waiting for the second half because, man, I started having so many issues. I had to restart the game so many times. I had to restart my console. I had to fucking at one point reload an older save because stuff, like, basically I was having a lot of audio glitches. Like, I'd have like this weird crackling noise that would appear, and like literally the only way to fix it was like to reload an older save. I'd have like a car horn go off, and then it would just perpetually go off, like, no matter where I went. It would just be there for like the rest of the game unless I reloaded. So like I started getting a lot of that, and shit like that is just so immersion breaking for me. And normally I don't care, it's a video game, but like you're selling immersion. That is what you're selling with this game. That is your strongest attribute. And so to be broken out of it, it sucks. And another thing this game does that drive me absolutely bonkers was like you'd be playing the story and like you'd be like doing this, like there'd be like this great like little cutscene, like where you're talking, not cutscene, but like everything's in game, but you're like talking with this person and like, yeah, we're gonna do this plan and everything, and this is gonna be great. This is how it's gonna go down. And then like the screen would go all statically and glitch, and then the story skips ahead like 2 days later after it's already happened. And shit like that drove me nuts. Like, I want to play that out. Like, you're explaining this stuff. You're making it sound so fucking cool, but now you're skipping ahead for story purposes. And I don't know, man. Stuff like that just completely ripped me out of the experience. And Cyberpunk does it so fucking often. Just drove me nuts. But as always, I'm a narrative over everything guy. and the narrative was damn good. Like, this story was second to none. I'm surprised how much Keanu Reeves is in this fucking thing, because Keanu Reeves is in this a lot. And he's good. Like, he's really solid here. And seeing him was great. And just, I grew attached to my V. That's the main character in the game. And yeah, I grew attached. I grew attached to her. And I definitely dug that part of this game enough that it made me really overall positive on my experience of this game. Bold prediction, and it's tough to predict anything with you, but I think when you get to this game, you're going to fucking drop it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll end up loving this game, but that is going to be my bold prediction on this game, that you're not going to like it. And I will put a bet for it on that. Not a bet, like I'm not going to bet money, but that is my prediction. You're unpredictable of games, so you might end up loving this shit, but I truly feel like you're going to end up dropping it and not digging this. We'll see if I'm right. I could be completely wrong on that though. But yeah, I think this game is really good for the narrative, but other than that, I think it's got a lot of issues with it. It definitely, like, fuck you, CDPR, for releasing this when you did, with like, as I can't even imagine how bad, like, I can't imagine because I played it at launch, but I only played a couple hours of it. I can't imagine if I tried to play the full fucking game with like how atrocious this was at launch. Like, bullshit, absolute bullshit. And they should be fucking flogged and ashamed for the rest of eternity for that. Now they've worked at it. They've made the game definitely way better. So props to them for that. But whatever their next game is, I'll tell you this, man, even if I end up loving Witcher 3 or whatever it is, there's zero fucking chance I buy that shit day one. There's just no way. But yeah, so Cyberpunk overall, real mixed bag. I know I sounded really negative on it. There was a lot of stuff that annoyed me, but overall, that fucking story, man, and those characters were so well made. I love the immersion when I could just get immersed in it. And there's really nothing like that. It's very high quality in terms of the way they built their story and do their writings. So I love that part of it.
All right. So my guess, my completely uneducated guess, of course, Cyberpunk, big game. Like it was actually big, and a whole bunch of people who have probably never played a Western RPG like that. Like, let's be honest, Deus Ex didn't really light the world on fire, and considering that you're talking like it sounds like almost run off Deus Ex, this is probably the first experience that a lot of people have. So maybe this is just something that people, this is drinking Pepsi and you don't know Coke exists. So maybe that's what it is. Again, talking out of my ass, I don't fucking know. But then in that same breath, let's go ahead and not mention why there was a resurgence in Cyberpunk, because I refuse to fucking acknowledge that maybe that has fuck that bullshit, fucking disgusting.
Which, by the way,
God, we should. No. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
Fuck them for fucking putting a mission with bullshit in there. That's what I was gonna say.
Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't care. I don't care. Look, you understand how I was trying to be composed and balanced about, like, well, maybe that's what it is. I don't want to be fucking balanced about shit here, okay? Fuck that. bullshit, disgusting. If I had, I think, one person at my job tell me about it, and I was like, if I wasn't work from home, I'd be strangling you and getting fired. Okay. Ugh, fucking disgusting. How do you fucking not know me? I'm getting tilted and I'm getting heated, and we should have fucking nuked Japan again. It wasn't enough. I'm just saying, okay? You want to know how I know that anime is a problem with radiation? Is that check anywhere else in the world? Are they making it anywhere else?
No.
Anyways, I don't know. I mean, that imagine the kind of fucking degenerates that brought people through the door who are used to playing fucking Excel spreadsheets where you check off a content. Okay, I'm sorry. Imagine if they actually played a real fucking game.
Yeah.
I'm saying this shit while I'm about to play like Octopath Traveler more again. So why I hate that like I'm playing up the anger and now I'm getting angry from playing up the anger. Like I'm actually believing my own bullshit. But maybe what if they learned how to play an actual fucking game and they're like, ow, what? That was a fucking what? I can move and other characters move the same time. Hold on. I'm drinking water. I'm getting heated from being fake heated.
This water break is brought to you by Hoover.
Hoover, thank you for sponsoring us again. Thank you. I want you to know that at the ad read at the very beginning of the episode, I gave you guys that same amount of passion. I'm going to play this game. There's no way around it. I'll play it at some point. I'm still... Oh, boy. If you are right about me dropping it, that is calling a fucking... That's not even a Hail Mary, man. That's calling a Grand Slam right there, if you land that.
Yeah, I have been wrong many times before, and I will probably be wrong again. But that is I'm going on the record, and I'm gonna put myself out there that I don't think you will finish this game, and not because it's difficult or anything like that, because you just don't like it. I think you will just drop it. So that's
probably lack of interest.
Yeah, lack of interest. That is exactly it. So we'll see.
All right, so Cyberpunk, we'll get there when we get there out of 10.
So,
speaking of,
I can give my rating. Right rating.
Oh yeah, go for it. My transitions fuck over completely.
It's fine. 7.5 out of 10. Go ahead.
All right, transition. Speaking of shit that I would probably bet on, even though you didn't like Plague Tale Innocence, A Plague's Tale Requiem. Even knowing that Innocence isn't there, let's be honest. We all kind of have that silent point system where, like, if someone recommends you something and then it's such a hard miss that you're just like, yeah, we're gonna knock off a couple of points from you. Anything that you say, like, it's like playing a ranked match. It's like, oh, you gotta win. Cool, we add points. Ooh, that was a bad loss. We're gonna take off points. Like, we all have that silent point system. Even though Plague's Tale Innocence was a miss for you, I mean, that feels like honestly something that, like, that's you joined a match mid-game, and so you don't lose points. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. And the Plague's Tale Requiem is the exact same thing. Like, it's not, and I'm not saying it's the exact same game. I'm saying, like, this is exactly in that same... It would completely throw us off like Innocence if you didn't like Requiem. I'm directing this to you specifically because this is that third person cinematic shit that you dig. And I'm not gonna lie, have I gone a little bit colder on those games? I don't know. Honestly, because, like, I always dug Uncharted the same way. Even when I replayed it, I still dug them the same way. The less I talk about the other series, the better. And then we have Ghost of Tsushima, which is open world, so, like, that doesn't even really count. So I can't really remember the last time that I played a third-person over-the-shoulder cinematic game that was linear and wasn't an open world. So, like, I don't even know how I feel about this genre anymore. But Plague's Tale Requiem... honestly, it feels like a very good sophomore effort. And I want to phrase it that way because, yes, I know that it's not their second game, but, like, it's their second game in this style. It's very good. It is them coming back. It is them understanding from Innocence, I guess, some of the mistakes that were made and then refining it. And I guess like the main thing that comes to my mind is like I kind of wish the animation was better. If they get poached and they get bought out, I mean, I'd imagine that if they had more money, that the animation work would probably be better. I don't know, but like at least for what this game is, and from the small publisher that it's from, the small developers that it's from, it's like I don't. That's impressive. So like again, I feel like a great sophomore effort is what the phrase I'm going to keep coming back to, because like I don't think the gameplay is that good. Like, I don't think it's like, oh my god, like no one's gonna be asking for a Plague's Tale Requiem multiplayer. Okay, like it's not going to be that, but the gameplay is there and it's very good to serve the story. And I still kind of wish that there was a bit of more gameplay feeding into story, feeding into gameplay. It has moments of that, and I was like, oh yeah, I like that. Like now I'm going to speak vaguely right now. It may, if you wanted to go a little bit blind, then if you really want to go that blind, I don't think that what I'm going to say is that bad, but still, I've prefaced it. There are moments where you have characters tag along with you that bring in gameplay moments. And there's specifically one character who brings in a gameplay modifier that like almost immediately endeared him to me. And I like stuff like that where you use the gameplay to convince the player into narrative pieces. So I dug that, and what I love is that the actions that the characters do, it feeds into what kind of character they are. And then I love that the cutscenes and the narratives, the cutscene and the gameplay aren't two different things. It's the same world. So like there's specifically one moment that feels so much like if it were any other game, it'd be like, oh, your main character got through it, good job. But the game goes, no, that's not what we do here. You are the same person in gameplay that you are in cutscenes. I'm kind of stretching a little bit because, of course, in gameplay, you're not taking down so many enemies, but like still, whatever. Like it still fits, and you take the L hard in that sequence. And I was like, oh, in any other game, they wouldn't have actually gone through with it. It was like, oh, well, the charts show that players don't like to feel weak. Like, no, this was the right choice for the game. That's the thing. I'm speaking vaguely, and I don't want to go more into details. If you want to know what moment it is, I'll spoiler tag it for you later. But Dorian's listening. I don't want him to even have an inkling of it. The ending is very good. Like it's. Again, I like it when an ending takes it that extra level, and this ending bumps it up a little bit, and I really like what they did. I like the fact that the narrative ends where it does. It's like, again, I go back to that same phrase. Any other game, I could imagine that they wouldn't make that choice, and then this one does. And I was like, oh, awesome. Thank you. You actually committed to it. And again, just because I have to be toxic sometimes, Cuckman fucking wishes he could have convinced me of the shit that's going on in this game. But we'll talk about that whenever Dorian plays it, because I expect if this show was still around, that might end up being a shouting match. That if World War II is that hate cast, Plague Tale Requiem is going to be the Cold War, where it's like it's a proxy war. So yeah, Plague Tale Requiem, that was good. I think I'm just hard about games in general now for them to impress me, so I wouldn't recommend this game. I feel like there's just so much shit vying for our time that to deal with something that I can be like, yeah, that was good. I'm probably underrating it compared to everyone else. If anyone else played this, they'd be like, "You're stupid. This is incredible." I'm like, "Yeah, but we're still on the same page. We still both like it." But yeah, it's good. I would recommend it widely. If someone were specifically in the mood for it, I could definitely recommend it. So yeah, Dorian, anything that you want to say about this one?
Basically, no. Just that I think I want to play it eventually, but it's not going to be soon. I just didn't like the first one enough to justify spending full fucking price on the second game. So
well, you see, for $10 a month, you can join Pass.
Don't you start, you Game Pass line.
The greatest deal. No, what are you talking about? Hoover already stopped paying me, okay? Phil Spencer over here, he's going to sponsor Passive Pixels.
Caught chilling.
For every free episode, every month that you get of Game Pass, you get a free episode of Passive Pixels. I will make a special episode all about Game Pass. Please, Phil, give me money.
Okay, Paris. Anyways, I just don't feel that the first, like, I think the first game was good. It just didn't do enough for me in terms of a lot of the mechanics and the story. Like, it was good, it just didn't hit that hard for me. I will say that I need to stop looking at conversations and hearing conversations where people are trying to compare this to The Last of Us, because that's going to piss me off and put me in a negative mood when I enter the game, because I don't want that. So I'm gonna, like, please, if you see me on the Discord and that conversation's happening and you see me poking around, tell me to get the fuck out, because I really don't want to walk into this game negative. And I'm not there yet. I'm fine with it still. I'm excited to play it at some point. I'm going to wait till there's a sale on it. But if I keep hearing fucking comparisons like that, I'm going to get to that point, and I don't want to get there. So please.
I kind of want to get you there.
No, I don't want to get you there, though. I want to give this game an honest chance.
No, do you want to know my Gigabrain 4D chess of this? What I want to do is that I want you to spite this, so then whenever I talk about it, I can talk shit about the Cuckman Classic, and then I could just be like, Cuckman, he fucking bullshit, and you're just like, I'm never gonna play this game, so now I have to argue from a point of like complete ignorance about the other game, and I can be like, you're never gonna fucking play the game, and then, oh shit, wait, that spites you into playing it though. Oh, okay, that might landlock you, though. If I spite you from two different directions, maybe it just leads to inactivity. So, you know what? You know what? Cuckman fucking wishes. Naughty Dog is dead. Asobo's here to take their crown.
Is that your score out of 10?
Yes.
All right. Great. Moving on. I'll play it. My score is I'll play it eventually out of 10. Hopefully.
God, I hope that's a lie at some point. I hope you spite the shit and then I have to come back and be like, he lied.
Okay, how you have 3 left, right?
He got 1, 2. I got 2, and then we share.
Yeah, I got 5. So and we're running long, so I got to power through a couple of these here. Okay, let me do the House of the Devil first. This is directed by Ty West. It is in 2009, but the really cool thing about this movie is, if I didn't tell you that, you would think this movie was made in 1983. Really authentically done and really cool, and this is one of the reasons why I like this movie so much. This movie, like, if you did not know, if you just turned this movie on and you didn't recognize the cast, or you didn't look up anything about it, you would just assume this was a horror movie in the 80s. That's how well this movie is made. Like, it is just a testament to the time. Now, the actual content of the movie itself, not going to be for everyone. This movie is a slow fucking burn, and I mean slow. This movie's an hour and a half long, and it takes a good hour and maybe 10 minutes of that to finally get going. But I loved it. I thought it was really great. I liked the atmosphere of it. I liked the slow build. I was wondering what was going on and what it was going to lead to. And then you get the batshit final, like 15 minutes or so, that just is so completely out there and fun. I had a really good time with this movie, and I quite enjoyed it. This is my favorite Ty West movie I've seen. Obviously, he's pretty popular right now with X and Pearl. I didn't like Pearl as much as other people. Martin Scorsese loved it, so fuck me, I'm wrong and filtered. But X I had a lot of fun with. So definitely worth checking this out, though. I think this is his best movie, for sure.
I'm fine. If this is the moment that you're like, this is on my watch list, I'm just going to have a meltdown out of 10.
Unfortunately not, no. I wish it
okay,
was.
Cool. All right, no meltdown. All right, perfect. T.I. West, you're still on the because you're getting literally a trilogy out of A24, and that doesn't sound right. A trilogy out of A24. All
right, fair enough. So let's talk now. Okay, we'll do a couple of foreign horror movies here, and then we'll both be down to 2. So we'll start with The Wailing. So this is directed by Na Hong Jin. This is a South Korean flick. This is from, actually, I don't know any of the other movies he's done. So I don't know if he's done anything memorable or not. That's the only one I've heard of. This one's pretty popular though. Really high score on Letterboxd, 3.9, almost cracking that 4.0 barrier. A stranger arrives in a little village, and soon after, a mysterious sickness starts spreading. A policeman is drawn into the incident and is forced to solve the mystery in order to save his daughter. It's a chunky boy. It's 2.5 hours long, which is really long for a horror movie generally. Really, really like this, though. The atmosphere and vibe, again, was off the charts here. It was super well made. Kwok Do-won, who plays Jung-gu in the movie, he's the main character. He was also in another movie I really like called Mother. But he was not Mother with the exclamation mark, but a different South Korean Mother.
Yeah, no. Mother, not Mother.
Correct. Mother. He was really good here in the lead role. There's really not much more to say because you really want to go into this movie as blind as possible if you can. I feel like knowing nothing about this movie or like that just little blurb I said really doesn't tell you that much. And that's all you need to know, because knowing more will kind of, I think, ruin some of the allure of it. But I was a really big fan of what I saw here. It was genuinely creepy at times. Great shit. So it's an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed my time with it.
Oh, horror movies. Even when you're good. I'm fine. I'm fine out of 10. That's where I'm going to leave it. I'm fine.
Fair enough. All right. And then this is the biggest surprise for me of the entire month, probably, and the movie I just watched today. This is Pulse. This is directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Not that Kurosawa, but a different one. In the year 2001. So I've seen one of his other movies before, Cure, which I've talked about on the podcast before. And that's a really great movie. I like that movie quite a bit. It was really solid, really creepy. Again, just traditional Japanese horror that doesn't rely on jump scares, but gets under your skin and kind of unsettles you a little bit. Pulse was that ratcheted up to 10 for me. I was genuinely scared watching this movie in the broad daylight with all the lights on, and there was no jump scares or anything for that, but it's just fucking creepy, man. There are some scenes in this, like, I want to go, you have no plans to ever watch this, right?
No.
Okay, no. I'm going to do like a minor little spoiler segment because I want to talk about one scene in particular that might be one of the fucking creepiest things I've ever seen, and it's so stupid. But I want to talk about that real quickly. But overall, though, this movie was just great. It's basically, it is a horror movie for sure. Like, it is creepy as all hell, but it's masquerading as a movie just about general loneliness and how technology, and we become so separated from ourselves and how we're just all becoming our own little things, and that's kind of the direction the world was heading. And in 2001, and even more so now, very prophetic.
Wait,
for the
hold
time.
on. What year was Cure? Oh no, you said Pulse.
Pulse.
I was looking Cure for some reason.
Yeah, Cure's 97. No, Pulse is 2001. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And so it's just incredibly well made. There's just such a feeling of depressing, crippling loneliness throughout this movie that I really resonate with, which one of my favorite piece of media of all time is The Leftovers. And part of the reason I like The Leftovers so much is just how hopeless I feel watching that show sometimes, and just how depressing it feels and how many times it tries to kick me in the balls, but then bring me back up. And when I get that feeling in a movie, it instantly becomes special to me, and I'm genuinely enjoying it. So Pulse is like, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's in my top 10 horror movies of all time now. I really dug this. So if you want to say anything, go ahead, and then I'm just going to do a quick spoiler segment.
Okay, let's be honest. I'm probably still going to listen to the spoiler segment because by the time, it's not going to be so fucking wild that I'm not going to be able to forget it. So the fact that I know it's the same director that did Cure. I haven't seen Cure. I've been interested by Cure. So depending on Cure, depends on if I watch Pulse. So that's all I'm going to say. All right. Who the fuck knows out of 10?
All right. 3, 2, 1. And the end of this movie is basically one of the main characters disappearing like everyone else. And holy shit, we're spoiling really big now, but here we go. Okay. So the scene I specifically want to talk about, though, why I think this movie is so scary, is there's a scene pretty early on into the movie where basically these ghosts are appearing, and they're people that have killed themselves. They've just died, whether on video or in person, or people have seen it, and then they're basically coming back over. The theory in the movie is that where these spirits go, they basically become what do you want to call it? They become it's overflowing, like it's too full. It's at capacity, so now they're starting to leak out into the real world, basically. So anyways, There's this one scene where this guy, he's basically in this like abandoned house or whatever, and he's trying to find his, like, look for his friend or get some clues or whatever. And he basically sees her way down at the corner of his eye. And remember, she's dead now. And he basically is like terrified because he's like, oh fuck, like, you know, like, you're there, right? And he just kind of stands there. And you kind of like, it's so hard to explain, but the cinematography is so fucking great. It's just like this long hallway, and like you can just kind of see her shadow at the end of it. And she starts slowly walking into the frame. And there's no music. There's no like jump scare sing music. Like, it's just complete silence and filled with tension. And just the way she walks is the most unnatural walk. And it's almost goofy looking if it wasn't so fucking scary. She just kind of starts swaying around from side to side and doing this really like, she's kind of just like arches up her shoulders and pulls it back. And it's almost like she's dancing as she's walking with this completely straight look upon her face. And it's fucking terrifying. And again, it doesn't use music. It doesn't use any camera cuts or tricks like that. It's just this long shot of her slowly coming towards him. And then finally, like, just freaks out and like jumps behind this couch and like kind of hides, and like he's just standing there, and then you slowly again see her hands and her head peers over, and I'm just getting goosebumps talking about it. And basically the scene ends there. But it's one of the scariest fucking things I've seen in a long time that just didn't rely on any cheap tricks. So shout out to Paul, shout out to this movie. It's fucking great.
I'd say maybe next year, but I told myself I wanted to beat all the Silent Hill games this month, and yeah, at this point, I'm not even going to fucking finish the first one out of 10.
Fair enough. So yeah, I've got 2 things left, and one of them is shared with you, and it's about the same property, so we can jump into that.
Transition to Silent Hill. Let's fucking go.
Here we go.
You had I threw the ball up, and you were like, "I'm not gonna dunk it. I'm just gonna take a timeout instead."
Yeah, I fucked up.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. Here we are.
That's a good game, man. I mean, it's you know what? It's overall good. There we go. I feel like if I say it that way, I feel better, because I know these controls. Man, I fucking hate these dogs. I hate the fucking birds. I really hate the keys that you have to find like right at the beginning of the game. I'd prefer if I, didn't have to do that. And God, why is no one paying taxes in Silent Hill? Why the fuck are all these roads this messed up? Like, dude, build the fucking roads. What is wrong with you guys? Like, are the ghosts not paying taxes? Like, fucking make them pay taxes. You're Silent Hill. You can create an actual hell for them until they pay taxes. Worry about yourself, Silent Hill. I think the last time that I played, I finished up the school.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Dude, the fucking atmosphere in this game, the music in this game, it's perfect. Oh my God. And even the graphics actually fit well. Like, so I don't remember when it was. I had seen something that someone was talking about, like playing Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time on the N64, and how because it looks like paper cutouts, it feels like it's perfect for childhood, and how most people played it when they were kids anyway. So like it fits perfectly, even if like technically those graphics are like just like they're just really rudimentary. Like part of me almost feels like this fits into that same realm, where it almost feels like, because it's so lo-fi, hell, we're actually wrapping back around to Evil Dead, where it feels like almost the lo-fi nature of it adds to the kind of experience of it. So like whenever you're in the school and you can hear the radio going off, and the fact that it's like running at like 240p, and maybe not even p, probably 240i, and how you are like staring at the shadows and you can see like literally 7 white pixels, you can fucking count them, 7 white pixels coming out of the darkness, and it's like, oh god damn, that's spooky. And then not only that, how you have kind of your eyes play tricks on you when you're running through the classrooms and you see chairs that are almost the same color as the enemies. It's like, oh my god, it's so impressive seeing how they were so limited, and yet it's still so effective this many years on. Like it is so impressive that even with the real actual complaints I have, it is still a worthwhile experience this later on.
Yeah, it's truly a product that stands the test of time. And a lot of that, I got to give credit. Like you mentioned it already, but Akira Yamoka,
Yamaoka.
Yamoka, yeah.
Yamaoka, I think.
His score in this is just so outstanding, and not just the theme song. And obviously, the theme song is, in my opinion, one of the best video game theme songs maybe ever. Like, it's so unique and
Dude,
creative.
if someone knows, if someone has played Silent
Yeah.
Hill, literally it takes half a second for you to recognize it. And that
Yeah.
is, I mean, come on, like John Williams, if you don't know the man's name, you know his music.
Yes.
And if you've played a Silent Hill game, or that's the thing, I feel like it feels so bad because like if Silent Hill probably had, think of it like this, if you swap the popularity and like I guess history of like Silent Hill and Resident Evil people know about that. Silent Hill most people don't know.
Yep.
But let's say that if it had the same position that Resident Evil currently does, people would know enough about it and you would hear those notes and people were like, oh yeah, that's Resident Evil in this timeline. Yep. So yeah, like that, the music instantly recognizable, and that's always such a good mark.
Yeah, and this game, it's such a vibe. So I played this game before. It's been a long time. It's basically when I was younger I played it. I'm playing through it again through an exclusive copy provided me to Gabe on the Steam Deck. And
dude, Gabe is, I'm so glad you found his number so you can find these games.
Yeah, that's great. And it plays great on there, and it's just definitely, look, here's the thing. The controls are not modern by any means. They are a little bit clunky. That is, I will never try to say that they're not. But I think once you get the hang of them, I think they're perfectly acceptable and they work fine for what the game's going for. And I feel like it took me, you can tell you don't agree, but it took me it took me maybe 20 minutes to get back into the swing of things before I was busting down demon babies like it was nobody's business. So it's definitely, you gotta get used to it. You gotta get back into that time frame of the tank controls. If they remade it, obviously, yeah, I'm sure it would control a hell of a lot better. But that's the problem with remakes. You don't know if they're gonna hit the tone right, because for a game like this, the tone is so incredibly important. And that's what you're worried about with the Resident Evil 4 remake, where I'm hoping it does change the fucking tone. But for everyone who loves Resident Evil 4, you're all fucking terrified right now that the tone's going to be fucked.
Here's the thing. Okay, we don't talk about news. I prefer not to talk about news. I prefer to talk about impressions. But to tell you, and I guess to update the audience, because I have brought up Resident Evil 4 remake. That showing that they had recently, they still had the goofy tone in there, and the gameplay looks different enough even from Resident Evil 2 that I'm like, oh, hey, you might have convinced me. I will watch your career with great interest. And you're telling me I can parry a goddamn chainsaw with a knife. I don't care what fucking game you are. If you put that shit in there, I'm like, ooh, okay, all right, hold on. I was real good about closing this door, but it looks like it's not even gonna play that much. Like, I was thinking that if you really just take Resident Evil 2 and then put, like, I guess pieces of Resident Evil 4 in there, it's like, I don't know about that. But if they look like they're putting a midpoint between Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 4, I think I can kind of get down with that. I don't think about day one. Maybe not, unless Best Buy has a steelbook, like literally their day one. Like that might be the one thing that pushes me to get it day one. But right now, I'm watching. I'm not completely against it now. I'm watching from the sidelines now.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to just bring this up quick because I really don't have much to say about it, and we can go back to the game then if you want more to say after, but just quickly, I did watch the Silent Hill movie as well, which was 2006 by Christopher Gans. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's actually better than most video game shit, but the entire movie, I just felt like I wish I was playing the game again. Like literally, I was like, yeah, I would just rather be playing this video game. So that's literally all I have to say about the movie, honestly. It's fine. But yeah, I would just rather play the games. Like you just lose that tone, man. Like it's so hard to like the tone and the atmosphere of this game is so well done. And it's what makes Silent Hill so unique and memorable and better than any other survival horror game, in my opinion, even Resident Evil. And you'll get to that too, especially when you hit Silent Hill 2 and 3, because those games are just those games are just fucking goddamn masterpieces. And I can't wait to get to those myself. I really want to try get Silent Hill done and maybe even sneak in Silent Hill 2 before Ragnarok comes out. at November 9th. But we'll see. I don't know if we'll get Silent Hill 2 done because I really don't want to rush that one either because that game's such a goddamn masterpiece. So I might just finish Silent Hill 1 in that time, but we'll see. But yeah, no, this game, for me, it's fantastic. It's obviously nostalgic childhood blast too because I played this when I was younger. I remember booting up the PlayStation to play this guy. Just shout out Konami before you turned into a pile of shit because man, you just made so many classic childhood games.
No, fuck that. I'm not even gonna say nice things about Konami.
That's true. No, fuck Konami currently today, but like
no. I'm not even gonna do like a previous shout out. Fuck them.
Yeah, fair. I wish I could rewind time and go back to when Konami wasn't a piece of shit. Let's put it that way.
No. I mean, just imagine going back in time and hearing Kojima say, "I'm not going to do Metal Gear," and you just go, "Okay, honey."
Yeah, sure, Kojima. Sure, go back to sleep. But yeah, so I will watch, as you said, I'll watch your career with great interest. Well, that goes back to you, sir. I will watch your career of Silent Hill with great interest because I'm very interested to see. Like the school was like the first bit. The game, there's still a little bit more left of this game, and it gets pretty fun. So good shit ahead.
Yeah. I think I was talking to Moki, and he had told me that there are like 3 main sections of Silent Hill, so I feel like it's safe to say that I'm halfway done.
Maybe, I don't know, half. I'd say like a third. Good third.
No, because like I'm assuming like there's an entire section before the school, and then the school, and I assume the other 2 locations are gonna have the normal one and the nightmare world. So like,
correct.
Is my math still wrong? Or
no, you're right, but like I wouldn't even like the stuff like okay, when you're actually in the town of Silent Hill, that's almost like not I don't count that as a major section. Like that's its own thing. Then you've got like a major section where it switches up. So I think you're about a third of the way in, generally speaking, right now.
Why the fuck does it not count when they just throw you immediately to go find those goddamn keys? Like, oh my god. Oh, dude, I should have used a walkthrough so much sooner. I was like, I don't want to do. Oh
I've had to consult it a couple of times because obviously my childhood memory does not bode well. But I did remember I had to find those fucking keys. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like remind myself where they are so I can do this before I know I have to do it, because you end up finding that map in the house which like points the locations out for you. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go find these keys before I even get to there so I can just get out straight away.
Dude, oh my god, that's an old game thing that fucking pisses me off. The lack of indicators of what I can interact with, that pisses me off much.
See, I actually find it pretty easy in Silent Hill. Like, to me, like, if there's something that I can interact with, it just looks bigger and, like, more obvious. Like, you know, in the school with the pink ball, it's like stuff like that's obvious. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to grab that now because I obviously need that. Like, to me, it just seems like, I thought they did a pretty good job with that.
I'm stupid.
Yeah, fair.
Have you considered that?
No, I haven't. Consider.
No. Like, for example, the one example that actually fucked me over, right? I mean, not too badly, whatever. I'm exaggerating at that point. You have like the little locker shaking, and then you open it and it's empty.
Yes.
And then you walk through and the body drops out.
Yes.
Right. So I saw the body and I was like, oh, it's a body. And I just start tapping X. And, like, I walk right up to it too. Like I see Harry walk up to it, and then like I'm pressing X, and it's like, oh, I guess it was nothing, and I just wandered. And I spent like 20 minutes. Like, the fuck am I supposed to do? And then I look up a walkthrough. It's like, oh, you're supposed to talk to the body. I'm like, fuck you. I tapped X. Fuck you. Oh my god. Also, I don't like that there's a sequence, even though that it doesn't matter that there should be a sequence. So, for example, at the top of the school, like the water thing, I'm like, oh, that's red. Let me go ahead and tap X. No, I can't do it. No, okay, that's weird. I already have the fucking ball. Let me just turn on the water. No, you have to go and look and see at the key inside the thing. And then you can turn the wheel to open the water. I was like, it's fine if I break sequence. It's fine. You literally, you don't need to see that the key's in there, because you can just turn on the water and there's an audio cue of the water and the key hitting the ground. Like, it's already there. You don't need to. That's the thing. I feel like I'm being negative, but like, here's the thing. I give a lot of slack for older games. Like, I if you are still something that I want to keep going with, holy shit, that's incredible. Good for you. Like, Ocarina of Time was probably mind-blowing in 97, and the fact that I have as few complaints about that game now just means that I want to praise it even harder. So this game, playing at the time, this was all probably shit that like you just kind of took for granted. It's like, yeah, okay, you just got to do this. There's an order to it, whatever. Now with games like just kind of rolling over and letting you beat them like very quickly, this is shit that I'll complain about. But at the end of the day, I'm willing to throw in every single complaint, because at the end of the day, this is like such a almost bare bones game that is way like it's so much greater than the sum of its parts that all of my complaints, honestly, I don't even need to say most of them, because I think overall the game is better than its little things that annoy me. So I'm gonna keep bitching though, because like that's what I do. So yeah, this game, good. It's good.
Well, I will finish it too, and I will provide a formal score. I actually don't usually score things before 2000. That's just my rule. But I will provide a score exclusively on Passive Pixels.
Oh my god, we got the fucking exclusive. I didn't pay for this one. Why did damn it. Why am I fucking surviving in this market? I don't want this exclusive.
Yeah. That's all I got. I think you got one left though.
All right, yeah, I do.
Take us home.
Anyways, yeah, Silent Hill. Good. Singing. I'm not going to put you guys through that. Singing in the Rain. Yeah, this one actually kind of is. I usually like ending on a whole bunch of positivity. I got Titanic out of the way, so I kind of.
Oh God, if you shit Singing in the Rain,
I like it.
Before the cloud is gonna fucking come to your house and slap you with the amount of insults he's taken this episode.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. Singing in the Rain fucking sucks. I actually hate this movie.
Card.
Honk, 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 honk. No. I'm not gonna do that. Singing in the Rain. First off, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Cleanest 4K cut I've seen. Just absolutely the best 4K transfer I've seen at this point. It is clean as hell.
Oh, I can't wait for you to watch those Hitchcock ones.
Oh man, dude, do you know how many times Hitchcock has gotten cucked in this house?
I know.
Every single time that I grab my wife and we start like picking out movies, Hitchcock, the entire collection is right there, and we always keep choosing something else. And this time, when that's the thing, Mulholland Drive and Singing in the Rain, we watched those back to back. What a fucking wild back to back, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, anyways, we were channeling some Ghibli. Grave of the Fireflies and
Totoro.
And Totoro back to back. So yeah, Singing in the Rain, cleanest 4K cut. Oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, Hitchcock been cucked a lot of times, and even my wife has acknowledged this point that we just keep not watching it, and she's like, "Well, it's Halloween, we should watch it." And I'm thinking, all right, I don't know where she will. But anyways, yeah, Singing in the Rain. Wow, that's a good movie. That's a good movie. I'm definitely colder on it than everyone else. I don't know. There's a certain level of happiness that hits me right. This one, it was like right on the edge, and that there's something, I don't know if there. I hate it, but this is. I had to jump to the fucking French for this. There was a je ne sais quoi that was missing, where I kind of wish there was something that like really grounded me in the happiness, or maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it. I don't know, but I was like, yeah, this is good. It's making me a little bit happy, but I still think that maybe after Mulholland Drive, my brain just wasn't ready for it. But that's the thing. I think that hurt it more, but regardless if I watched Mulholland Drive or not, I feel like I would have walked out colder than everyone else still. But yeah, Singing in the Rain, incredible. Oh my god, this is awesome. The dancing is great. It's definitely got that old classical feel. I love that since it's old, it was in that right time frame where you get 30 years out, so then that's when you start getting nostalgia pieces of what the people making the movie watched as kids. So like think Grease. Like Grease is an 80s movie about looking back to the 50s, but now considering that the internet is probably accelerated time means that we don't really get that anymore, so that's why we've had the 80s for like the last 50 years. So wait, no, 50, 40. Yeah, 40. So yeah, it's something that I maybe got way deeper than I should have, but like watching this just makes me think, man, we're just not really gonna get movies looking fondly back at the 90s, are we? Because like we're still doing the 80s, and then we're still probably not going to do anything from the 2000s. So like I don't know, maybe that's old man lawn in me speaking, but yeah, Singing in the Rain, That's just a fine movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? I mean, I've talked about it on this show before. It was part of the Buffalo Clown Mac Addy exchange.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong had it ranked pretty high. It was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was different than what I was expecting, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. I wish I saw the 4K cut. I had to watch it, unfortunately, on shitty ass Crave. But yeah, it was good. It was really, really well done. Great music, great songs. I definitely want to rewatch it again at some point because I had a good time with it. And feels like a type of movie that's pretty rewatchable too. It's just a fun movie. So yeah, no, I don't have a ton more to say because I've already talked about it on the show before, and you can reference some thoughts there to whatever fucking episode that was. But it's good. Yeah, it was a good show. Really enjoyed it.
I'm terrible because an actual thought that was creeping into my brain way too often is, man, that white boy can dance. And like, yeah. I don't know why. Like, I just kept thinking that, and I was just like, man, everyone's making fun of white people so much that they can't dance, but like, dude, look at Gene Kelly over here. That man's fucking grooving it. Every single person in this movie, fucking look at him. Oh my god, Carrie Fisher's mom, she can fucking groove. She can belt it out. Good for her. But yeah, it's I feel weird. This is an anticlimactic ending. I feel like this is actually another good episode. That's 2 episodes in a row that I was like, yeah, I think I was on. But yeah,
we had our blowout with Silent Hill, and we're 55 seconds away from being under 3 hours too. So
perfect. All right, actually, you know what? Okay,
scores,
good movie.
scores,
happiness out of 10.
4 out of 5.
All right, perfect. Dorian, go watch Titanic in theaters.
Hoover.
End card.
Hey, look at you. You got to the end of the episode. From episode 0 to the day that I finally get lazy and cancel the show. A big thank you to Joey Rawlings for providing the perfect name for the show. Be sure to always give him thanks, either out loud as you're listening to this, or you can just send him a thank you tweet at boogeyman117_. That's boogeyman117, IE instead of Y, double O. Be sure that it's an underscore, not a dash, 117.